Oops. I didn't mean to immediately start it. My bad. But, hold on a second. Okay. Liquid consumed water, hydrated. The video game background noise. I think this will be alright. It can probably be heard, and that's okay, because it'll be good sounding for the silence in between speaking. Wow, we review the Zenless 0 version 2.5 to be fuel for the night special program. Yeah, I'm not going through the whole thing. Nice opening. They talked about the story. I don't want to look through this trailer because I'm not even done with the main story that's currently up right now. They had a very nice set though. Looks very cool. You have that mysterious Bangbu who we did get to during the stream. Let me make sure everything's up. Because we're just right into it, which is good. I definitely want to do better at getting right into it. I think, unfortunately, with my new living arrangement, it's not as often. Hold on, let me check my own volume. I hit the wrong button on my headphone. Here, I think is fine. Yeah. Can my mouse be seen? Can it be seen if I click on it? It is seen if I click on it, cool. And if I move the window, it won't change up how it's seen on the stream. That's good. Anyway. I probably should have introduced myself. Hey everybody, Nom Nom Noms here. Welcome back to more Zenless Zone 0, and today we'll be reviewing this version 2.5 to be fuel for the night special program. Just doing a quick thing so we can get back to the game quickly. I guess the most important thing would be to ignore some of the story stuff. Unfortunately, I've been spoiled to see Carol Arna here. It just zooming through this character demo, right? Zhao again. It's her. Xiao. Oh my gosh. That's so awesome, dude. No, I actually do think I want them this sort of smaller size so I can better see everything on the screen. But yeah, freaking I guess Carol Arna is around. But yeah, this is a lot of going over what's in the new program and stuff, and we'll be getting Ginger content. That's pretty cool. It's cool to see all these characters. Very cute animation. It looks similar to, it's definitely quite different, but it looks, I think it's specifically the colors. It feels very reminiscent of an event we did with the video store. Shunguang appeared. It had a very cute chibi art style. And while I think it had a sort of chibier and, yeah, just a chibier and I think thicker lined art style, as the color of the lines specifically, and I think the overall color of the shading too, feels very reminiscent of that sort of. It was a sort of web event that you could do in game. Very cool, very fun. I think it was, what was it, 2020 or 2048? That sort of puzzle matching game, or that sort of matching game that is, I tried a few times, but isn't something I try all the time. So I don't think I finished the event, unfortunately. But I'm pretty sure I got most of the rewards. This guy guessing Shunguang is some type of horse siren. Very funny. Umamusume in Zenless Zone 0. I don't know why I said it like that. Oh, I was about to say ZZ, but I decided to say full name docs. Video game. Yeah, that's more important to me at least. Since I don't want to go through spoilers and stuff, we get gameplay of these video game characters. Yep. Flashy as you can expect from a Void Hunter. She does have a transformation by the look of it, which is pretty cool. Yeah, I quite like that perspective. Yeah, he's coming in from upside down. But yeah, very cool looking. I definitely would say I like her quite a bit more than each one. But I do worry she'd get very messy. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can zoom in all you want, but there's only so many pixels in a video. Still, this is probably just different video files by the looks of it, and it's File Explorer. Yeah. I think she looks cool. I definitely like her design more than each one. So don't love it. I already, I think, mentioned my issues when I got to her in game. But yeah. Oh, also this is a companion. I think, and something that's worth checking out is also that they have a behind-the-scenes dev talk. How many comments are here? Yeah, 6. Oh, you know, 600. It's not as many as I assumed. Okay. I opened a different thing. I can pause that, which terrified me, but I only have this window captured, so that's fine. Probably should close that. I think I talked about my issues, but you know it. Oh, hey, I think I recognize the face. There's some guy with a Mugen from Samurai Champloo, ironically named like Cloud Strife from Final Fantasy VII, I think. Funny. I recognize the face and missed it entirely. But, you know, cool to see people I'm aware of, or at least chatters I'm aware of. Yeah, him. That's funny. Cloud from Final Fantasy VII, Mugen profile pic. I have been going through Samurai Champloo recently. I think the fourth to last episode did something where I kind of dislike. It was like legitimate zombies and stuff. It felt sort of like that one episode of Cowboy Bebop I'm not high on, where they eat the food, like sort of parasite that makes everyone sick and dies, except Ed. I mean, which is kind of goofy. I should rewatch that show. Which, unfortunately, I have 3 episodes left of Samurai Champloo. I have 2 episodes left of Cowboy Bebop, and that was years ago. Years ago? No, I mean like I think sometime last year. And this is alright, here, this is me, Chocobo, here. As unfortunately the @ to my main account where I watch YouTube on. But yeah. From this special program, it was very neat. We had discussion on why they reviewed characters, or, well, optimized characters. Character optimization, and I enjoyed what they talked about here. Because and why they optimize characters specifically, which is basically, you know, make the characters stronger, how they want to phrase it. For some reason, when I hear optimize, I think of the game run better, which matters less for my new computer I'm using now, but you know, matters more for like phones or like anyone with a computer the caliber of my old one. I feel bad. We started from here and now I'm jumping here. Should I stick with this? I'm sorry. I think I'm a terrible streamer. I keep going back and forth on what I want to watch and talk about, and you should really just get to it. Maybe when this gets around to, I guess 20 minutes, not 20 minutes, because I'm not watching this whole thing since I've seen it before, unfortunately. No live reaction, but we should stick to the special program. Shunguang. You know, Void Hunter. Yeah, her animations are cool. Oh, she does a teleporting stick. I don't think she's nearly as... Okay, well, she wasn't nearly as bad as each one gets. I think each one can get pretty muddying on the screen. I don't think this is great. I think she can get bad. We'll have to see more gameplay, because I think the more gameplay I see of characters... Oh, that was a fun little spam of sword swipes. I quite like that. Yeah, she has a form. She fills up this bar, and then when she fills it up all the way, she gets to her super form. It looks like she has a bar under her other bar. Oh yeah, Zhao here. I believe, yeah. We'll get to Xiao, but when she fills up this bar, she can use her entry skill or like super move. I think I think activating that lets her do a quick assist, as we saw here. Let's see. Hold on. Can we spot the? Yeah. She has no skills, none of it here, and then she fills up 3 from Zhao using her activating an ether veil. That's pretty cool. Which makes people unironically assume, she might be usable with Lucia, because, admittedly, Lucia activates her ether veil incredibly fast. So it would make sense to, utilize that simply to activate her skill. Hold on, sorry. Grabbing a cup because it was sort of getting I think it's, dripped a bit of water, so it was getting the bottom of it a bit wet. Yeah. And we see, that was, earlier Zhao used her EX special, which filled a bit of a bar, which is what activated it. Because, Xiao has a bit of a cooldown to get her points, but then, so she has some skills that fill it up more. And this is why they're synergistic. Whenever she fills up this bar, I believe she can activate her Ether Veil again, which makes sense. And then she's also still sitting here doing her own charge up. I believe it's a 5-second charge up, and she'll teleport. Yeah, that attack. And teleport right to the enemy and do the burst. Yeah. I see. Okay, so her energy just like slowly goes down while she's in this form, consuming these bullets. And then you can see by the icon here, she has her own second ultimate. Alright, and we see it just run out, I believe, is what it looked like there. It doesn't look like her ultimate animation, even though it, faded. Yeah, makes sense. I would assume you want to do it like use this ultimate at the last second as it fades out, just to utilize it. I don't know if consuming more of these makes the ultimate stronger. That would make sense, I would say. Just consume all of this and have an even stronger burst, but it's obviously more overall DPS to maintain the form. But then I believe what did they say? Yeah, her normal ultimate just puts her into the form, so as soon as you exit the form, you just use your normal ultimate and get back into it, which is kind of hilarious. Interesting that, I assume this is, like, training mode, like, the decibels are set to 3000, so unfortunately, they didn't, like, consume. It's interesting that currently when they transformed then, it didn't have the second ultimate available. Maybe there has to be some other condition, or like some check that doesn't let you just back-to-back ultimate over and over again. Yeah, an ultimate granting her this form just means, Dylan is powerful, just even without getting a stun. Dylan just gives her an ultimate, which just immediately means more of this form, And alright, that's her second ultimate. Yeah, and then she faded out. Yeah. Yeah, this is very cool, very flashy, and effects everywhere. I wonder if she's gonna be a bit Miyabi. I would assume they've learned from that, but Miyabi has the issue where if you're really good at spamming out disorders, Miyabi just like perma-stuns like a bunch of enemies that don't have big resists, and that is to say, not like stunning like normal stunning, but perma-staggering, like we see from the enemies here with some of all these blade effects. These are lesser enemies, so I assume they have like less resistance than like Bringer, but Miyabi's whole basic can like stun lock Bringer if you get them back to back, when that staggers from like an ultimate. But I assume that was an ultimate, but yeah, we'll see. Oh, and then the girl is up next. It's her, Miss Zhao from Krampus Compliance Authority, the ice defense agent. Man, I really wish for them to make her mindscapes good. Currently her mindscapes do not look worth going for. I saw her M2 again. Just not sure what they're going for there. But yeah, because she's the free agent, they just intentionally like lowball any effort because it's like the least effort to do for these. And it's a bit frustrating. Like you don't need to pull for her at all. And admittedly, I am going to be very broke on polychrome going into 2.5, so I don't really have that many pulls. I don't think I'll probably won't even get her Wenjin day one. I probably won't get Alice until later into the patch. But I really wish I had both the polychrome, and it was just worthwhile to pull her mindscapes. I really wanted them, but yeah. Hopefully they change up, you know, like last second. Let me check this other tab. How do we know if not officially? Any updates, dude? Looking at my unofficial sources, yeah. Also, people are saying very low polychrome amount. I say very low, but it looks like a very average amount. Like, it looks like the normal amount you would get in a full patch, which technically isn't honest. I remember people posting a small image of how many polychromes we've been getting, like 1.4 to 2.0. It seems in line with 1.6, but like 1.4 and 1.5 were like celebration patches. Like 1.4 was like a bit of a relaunch, and then was Miyabi's release. But 1.5 was New Year's with Asha and Evelyn. And I don't know, for some reason, 1.6 just had 19 less polls than 1.7, which is a bit of a lot when we're talking about 117 to 98 polls, and it's 90 to get hard pity on an agent. Like, it takes a lot to get a character, man. And it's rough. But then, like, yeah, 2.0 was big, but that was a whole new region. It was like, you know, more discussions, a bit more missions and stuff. And then, you know, it's a whole new season. We're getting, like, the in-between patch amount for, like, the preliminary guess, I suppose, is an in-between patch amount. We're probably getting closer to Ashra, which would be 130-ish, which is nice. It's about 40 pulls less than 1.44 and 2.0. But yeah. Yeah. Someone here is saying the early guesses for 1.4 was like 120 to 130 tapes, which would... Yeah, okay. Hopefully there's like some bonus, but yeah. As a free-to-play, unfortunately. Especially when broke going into 2.5. It's so expensive to get a new character. Especially because even though I've been lucky recently, my luck basically from the release of the game to the first half a year was very, like, no early limited agents, which is, like, the specific thing. Because unfortunately I got lucky on Wenjins. And only for the first couple of Wenjins. It's so unfortunate, because then I still have a below 75% win rate on Wenjins. But I do have a good win rate on agents, which is good and bad. It's obviously good, but I keep getting agents like past 75 until recently. I think I don't think I do think I did it. I can look at the RNG Moe tracker, and it looks up to date. And this is pretty lucky recently, but oh well. I can add this here, and I believe it'll update on stream. Yep, it's visible. After 1,300 polls, I have an average S-rank pity of 68. And it's only because of recently, I was probably over 70 until very recently. When I got 2 wins in a row, and they were both early, dude. That was insane. That's really lucky. Now, this was a loss, but this was a win, right? So that was pretty lucky, too. But then, like, in between them, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. After 75 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. So I hope I'm lucky. And, you know, I've been lucky on my W engines. Until recently. Gosh, these ads. Yeah, until recently. At least I won this one, but man, look, at least my losses were early. But you know, this is just funny, you know, 62.5% win rate. Wait, and the agents were, holy crap! I have a higher agent win rate than my Wenjin win rate. That's hilarious. But you know, yeah, I don't think my luck is terrible, but it kind of feels bad because it takes forever to actually get to an agent. Like this average pity is probably about. This average pity might be half of what we get in 1 point or 2.5, meaning I get maybe 2 agents in 2.5, which is hilarious for a big celebration patch. Unfortunately, I only want Alice, but you know, if Zhao's Mindscapes were good, I would really want Zhao's Mindscapes. I really like Xiao, man. She's like so cool, so funny. And we'll get to see how hilarious she is, but you know, unfortunately, if Shunguang doesn't work well with Seed, I really don't care about her. Like, I mean really work well with Seed, and beyond work well, be fun with Seed, you know? Like, and good swaps, but from what I understand, like, her, like, other form makes her very selfish on wanting, like, time spent on field. Sorry, I felt like a burp was coming and it didn't. But yeah, I feel okay with skipping Ye Shunguang, which is why I really wish Zhao I hope Zhao has great Mindscapes just to justify pulling for her, because I really do want Mindscapes, because she's a character I like. That, which is more than enough reason for me to want Mindscapes on them. But you know, if she's middling, then like, there's no point, because I'm still free to play, you know? I can't, like, it's already a bad decision to pull Mindscapes, but it's an even worse decision to pull bad Mindscapes, you know? Oh, well. Oh, she's so, yeah, she's so goofy, and it's hilarious. But she still whacks around with the big old sword. Aw. Carries a massive sword, big old slash. Yeah, so it says another on-field agent, which is a bit sucky, because it means you have to be playing with someone else in order to fill up her bar. Well, but that is pretty cool. You can swap to her and immediately... yeah, I'm pretty sure, because it didn't have the effect. You can check here, even though Astra's on the team. I believe you can tell by this bar. If this bar is like this, it means Astra isn't in play, right? Yeah, because it would have the symbol right here for, you know, this symbol, but right here, because Astra has a 25 cost EX, right? So it would be right around here, less than a quarter. But since it's not up, then it means, like, Astra isn't activating her automatic quick assist. So this is purely from Zhao herself. And that means just by swapping to Zhao, you can immediately swap back, which is pretty cool. It's like double click, you can almost never notice Zhao, like, with swap to, your, like, DPS just immediately starts doing their quick assist, which is pretty cool. I think that's rad for, like, because I love that sort of quick swap playstyle with, like, Rina. So I think this still can be enjoyable. I just hope it's useful. And so yeah, that's her attack. Oh, that was funny. It looks like she's probably pretty fast. Yeah. Instead of like dodging, they just did the goofy run it animation. Yeah, that dwarfs her own frame. Funny. What do you say that triple? It's more like double her size. So this is probably the character with the big sword they were talking about, as we all assumed. Okay, hold on. Hold basic. Performs a powerful splash forward. And when she triggers this, and she swaps out at this point, she'll automatically chain into that basic attack. Which is interesting. How does this working? Because it looks like she charges it up now, she does the quick assist, and then she comes back to do it again. Which feels like a lot of damage. if this skill has good damage, because that's just, it's like, you know, an aftershock DPS. There, she's just doing an attack, and we can actually see the days. Alright, it was at 27 and it did 5 days, which is alright. And then when using her EX also fills it up and activates a quick assist. Oh, and she'll consume her HP, but I think we see, yeah, it'll take a chunk of her, but then it's healing. I believe it's a team-wide heal. And teammates, continuous HP recovery based off her max HP. So the more HP she has, the more healing she does to allies, which is alright. She's just a defense agent, so she's for sustain. Like all defense agents, she has a form of sustain, and presumably with that big sword she blocks heavy. You know, like Coletta or Shokaku, or all the defense agents. Yep, so she's HP scaling. I believe we don't have it confirmed, but I don't know if they said it like confirmed, because I believe they only say like, yeah, ability names, so they don't have descriptions anymore. And yeah, buffs to the squad based off of her HP, which could mean anything. And so they have the plausible deniability to make changes to her, as long as it's within this framework. Yeah. You know, from the unofficial information, it's HP will her HP will apply to crit rate, like, and she wants 27,000 HP to max out her buffs. So you'd want 6 for that, and you'd probably want to triple HP just to reach that. But her HP is pretty high. I believe it's higher than. Sorry, ignore that. That was a illegal website. For Zenless devs. I never went there. But yeah, she has a very high HP compared to like Lucia, I believe. Yeah, she has over 500, I think almost 600 more HP than Lucia, which does matter for like reaching out those extra thousands when you have like multiple like percent on top of it. Triple HP percent with HP main set W engine is 120% HP, so that's already like over 700 more HP gaining from that than Lucia. So yeah, makes sense that she would be easier to build to higher HP, but you know, if it's like initial and all, that is still tough to get to, and it comes at the cost of DPS. Like HP converts into maybe like crit rate, which is nice, but you crits are multiplied by like the dex stat. She has an HP scaling skill, but you know, what about her other skills that aren't HP scaling? It's a bit frustrating to think about. Oh, this animation's awesome. And she just does a crazy flurry of swipes or slashes. Yeah, very cutesy, but yeah, big weapon. Yeah, and then they're talking about the bamboo sprout, the one purely for Shunguang. The journey of Shunguang. Yeah, I don't really care, to be honest. But then yeah, we're having the joint advance through labyrinthine realm. It's not labyrinthian, so yeah, it's labyrinthine or labyrinthine. It's probably labyrinthine realm. Yeah, this is a co-op. Hopefully it's good. I believe a complaint I heard is that oh, that was a chain attack bomb. That was interesting. Where did it come from though? Right. And then this is also the chip battle boss fight we see. That one might be updated. When enemies are under anomaly or chain time state. Chain time? Okay, hold on. I see, there's a chain meter. There are many ways to trigger it. Okay, so like anomaly and chain time. And you can just activate your chain attack whenever, or at least whenever these apply, which kind of makes anomaly very powerful. even if, you know, attackers, chain attacks tend to be more powerful, you know, I mean, chain attacks tend to also have really high anomaly buildup. It is interesting to have Lighter. I think Lighter's fun, but, you know, part of I think his fun is, you know, that sort of swapping playstyle, so it'll be interesting how they update him. It's a, I don't know, I think he might feel a bit, I don't think he feels the best without swapping, even though he's still solid. I don't think it's barking. The dog isn't barking at anything. I hope that isn't audible. Yeah, I think the dog is audible. Sorry about that. Oh, and you can emoji up while you're slowly dying. So sad. Yeah, these are the selectable agents. I think a bit of an interesting choice, but yeah, we have the anomaly DPS, the hackers, and then attackers and the one rupture. Which I guess explains why, interesting, wait. These are only 9, but swore we saw Astra, which is interesting. Yeah, no, we saw it in that menu there, didn't we? It was right here. That's Astra. Wait a second. But the 9 selectable agents, which are, where were the selectable agents? They're not showing up here, but come on. So, but we saw someone selecting Astra there, but of the 9 selectable agents they showed, it was... Huh. That's weird. So, I guess Astra was in an early build, but they're deciding not to have her in this one, which is, I guess is fine, but yeah. Co-op, I'm definitely excited for this. Even though I can't use my goat. No, Coletta. They were too afraid of her power. She'd stun way too fast compared to these losers. These schmucks. But yeah. Footage combinations is double Yanagi. Miyabi would proc her anomaly. These two immediately do their EX. She does her hold basic and then they do EX again. And then also proc shock, and that's a disorder. So Miyabi can do her hold basic and do another hold basic. That'd be hilarious. But yeah, yeah. It's fine selection. I believe I heard he will be buffed to not be troll to have with all these other characters, but still apply to everyone, which is pretty cool. Not sure about additional abilities. I wonder if they just make everything activate all the time. I mean, gosh, Miyabi only has one support to activate hers. Otherwise, she's forced to play with Yanagi, which is probably the only reasonable thing to do anyway. Unless these characters have insane build up, but yeah. Probably just, you'd probably only want to play Miyabi with Yanagi anyway, but, you know, people will play Miyabi anyway, I'm sure. You know, out of these 9 characters, I have 2, and it's because this one's a standard character, and I got Lighter. I almost thought I only had Lighter. I almost forgot I have, of course I have Soldier 11. I assume you get to finally play as the buffed version of the buffed version of these agents. I think Ellen is the only character I haven't done like my Lost Void like checks or quests on for those rewards, because holy crap, they're forcing you to play base Ellen. And I mean she's fine, but yeah, she obviously has issues, which we'll get into how they talk about the characters later here. Unfortunately, you know, I still have my own issues, but I think we'll get to that later when we talk about those agents. But yeah, excited for multiplayer. I hope it's successful and fun. Just be, you know, something else to do. Hopefully the lag isn't bad. Hopefully they still can't steal our IP addresses. But yeah, you know, just something to do. I hope make Zenless feel relevant. Like, imagine it has a genuine co-op mode that's fun, that brings more players in just to play that. you know, they'll do all the other stuff in the game, but then, ooh, this co-op mode, yeah, I could actually have fun with my friends. You know, pretty cool. I think there's also, I assume, oh yeah, first is the rework of Xiao. Fifth, I assume, they said something about the rewards being updated. You know, we'll have more polys and stuff, but gosh. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's like 30, 30, 30, 40, 40. Oh wait, it's like 30, 30, 30, 30, 30, 40, 40, and then times 3. And all in all, it's like 720 polychrobes entirely. But yeah. Gosh, I assume it. I genuinely assume it's still going to be like 720 polychromes. It just looks like more because there's only 5 stages, which is kind of hilarious. It'd be nice if it was upgraded to like 800 total. What is that? I mean, it's like 3 rewards per stage, right? 15. Hold on. 800 divided by 15. Oh, that's 53. But you know, I mean, 50 times 8 or 15. That's still 750. Maybe it's that. Oh, or I mean, maybe it's 150, 150, 150, 150, 200. That would add up to 800. That'd be nice of them. It's like 60 more polychrome, I guess, every 2 weeks. But yeah, but for what the changes are, I don't know, man. I assume it's just high score based off of the time remaining, and that's it. So this is just another flavor of Xiao defense. It's basically the same thing, but maybe supposedly it's you only need like total scores. I think I heard S plus here doesn't give any bonus, which, you know, maybe it is just like 750. Oh, sorry, did I lag slightly? No, I don't have any dropped frames, but I noticed my phone. I noticed my phone buffering. I hope it didn't actually lag or anything. Yeah. From what I understand, oh, I actually don't know much. I assume it's gonna be like clear under 2 minutes 50 for. Oh, you have to. I assume it's just like time based for the score, which is confusing to do it this way. But I mean, they want it to be like a total score thing. It looks like this was the perfect score. No idea what the time is. Thanks, man. But yeah, it's 3 teams like Deadly Assault, which is But you know, I mean, it's fine. If the format is still like Xiao, it's okay, I guess. Part of me hopes certain fights have mobs in front of it. Some mobs are so garbage. You just hate them immensely, but that is still something that differentiates Xiao from Deadly Assault. So it's, I think, silly to just make it sort of a mini DA. I think that's just a stupid thing to do. And so, I mean, it's just DA again, but different, I guess. I assume it's like a 5-minute, right? And then 5 minutes and you lose, so you have to kill within that time, and then you get a score based on that. I assume anything less than that is super rough, because plenty of teams take like 3 minutes. And, you know, that's okay, but then, you know, I guess you have to get carried. You can still get carried, which is fine, but now you're graded, man. Like, my 3-minute clear on Coletta looks less impressive if you're gonna say it's like a B rank. Yeah, I guess it's fine as long as your total score lets you get carried by the other team still, which is still just like Xiao, but I guess a notable difference is that you'll probably be able to re-gear your agents between rounds, so like you no longer have to wait on your optimal team. But you know, I mean, you still have this mode, which I assume is still like the basic version of Xiao, or yeah, Xiao. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, 5-minute time limit. So yeah, you just have to actually beat the enemies within 5 minutes. Also, this person is not grouping at all, but you know, her AoE is insane, so I guess she went anyway. That's interesting. Yeah, so the no scored. Maybe this is just normal Xiao. Alright, now the score shows up, I see. 134. Interesting. So there's like a performance thing here, and then the maximum score looks to be 45. That's interesting. And it does show that the mob fights are still within, but that was more than just the mob fights. That was freaking... That was, the little guys into loser priest man, and after he's defeated, you get the big boss fight to Thrashian. Oh, that's so lame. And it's like 130 to max out the score? That's so rough, dude. Because, like, the mob fights in Xiao are... Not the mobs, but the elites. Like, not the boss, but the elites that come before the bosses are so stupidly tanky. It gets to be really unfun. They're the most, like, unenjoyable part of the Xiao experience. Like, the most enjoyable I found like a mob fight to be was when they just had Rampant Brute with Wanted Enforcer. So that's the Razor fight, the guy with the big old like piece of concrete, I think. Yeah, and swinging that around with like the guy who, the big thug enforcer guy who punches. The highest level of that, at least. And I think that's fun to have both at the same time. I think it's a bit brutal because I think they're a rough duo fight, and I still prefer Rampant Brute on his own. Still, I think it's fun to put them together at the same time rather than just have one stupid tinky guy spawn before the boss and force you to like use a ton of resources. It's really brutal. Especially for like funner teams who aren't as strong but still fun to play. Oh, feels a bit cringe. Yeah, you have to 100k for a full score. And this almost looks like 130 is needed for the maximum score, assuming it's time-based. But like, what else would be giving you the score? Hold on. Within the time limit can rake up higher scores. But yeah, this right here looks like it's exactly 1.5 minutes in order to get the maximum score, and then whatever this performance bonus is, which might just be killing the mob fights, which is kind of insane. But yeah, if it's 1 minute 30 to max score, that's brutal. Well, I mean, I have plenty of teams that can manage that for certain fights, and I mean, with the score now and saying, yeah, this is the main goal to max out, yeah, maybe I would have fun doing that. But yeah, for like the for fun teams, that's so annoying, especially with if they're gonna have like triple mob or a mob fight into the stupid elite into the boss. I think that's super lame. Anyway, yeah, like see, and then they have DA suggestions here. Spoiler enemy. I appreciate that. They were fine showing the Thrall, the mysterious Thrall, who we may not ever know about. Yeah, we'll see him eventually. Hopefully this time patch, or this stream, but might not. We might have a part 3. Sorry about that. I may have unfortunately seen who this is. My bad. Unfortunate. Unfortunately, I didn't feel too bad knowing who it is, but yeah, spoilers, and I won't say who it is. Obviously, though, this is an attacker boss, anomaly boss, rupture boss. And that's exactly what the guide says. I guess it's kind of nice to see the main team's players use on it. And then fairy recommendation, but you know, fairy's recommendations can be sus. I guess feels a bit useless if they show you teams that you can't use. Like, gosh. What, did they suggest half of your owned agents? Like, they were previously showing Shunguang's like meta teams, and now they show you Seed and Anby together, or Samby. It's weird to show you characters you don't own. I think that's strange, unless they're on banner. Now that's just telling you who to buy, isn't it? Yeah. It'll be neat to see like the top teams like officially. I wonder if it's like region based or like total cumulative. It probably won't be surprising who like the most used teams per boss are. But yeah, I mean, this is fun, and this is a team I want. This is why I will be going for Alice, but we'll talk about that later. But yeah, a shame I'm a poor, broke, free to play because this is not happening. we'll get to that later. And then we'll have more events, yeah, like the Battlefield events, I believe. The first one was Battlefield Mayhem, so I believe these are like Battlefield something else. Shadow Riptide event? Hold on, actually. Anyway. Oh, and then the Angels event, it'll be nice to see them. A preliminary look at all the Angels of Delusion. Honestly, I'm looking to see any, like, indicator of Arya's face, because the first time we got hinted at about the Angels in-game, the main hint we had was the username Arya does not dream nightmares. That this was all the way back in the original Battlefield event, Battlefield Mayhem in 1.3 with Yanagi's patch. And they had like some solo fights with Yanagi. I remember grinding that, so I really like that event. And it's the one that teased Arya specifically, like her brain was trapped in a VR device. As much as people like to doom post about her, she's like absolutely a robot that's just canon in the story. It doesn't matter. They've, I don't think they outright. Okay, I think there was a few like outright retcons. Like they said, Miyabi never unleashed the full power of her sword, but like in a cutscene, she like definitely like finger scanned, and the soul went into the sword and slashed at Nineveh. Interesting. She never unleashed the full power of her sword though until Bringer, I guess. I know something about that, but yeah. Maybe they have a few, but yeah, no. She's absolutely a robot. We'll just have to see, well, as an agent, what that does entail. Personally, I hope it's still the case that, like, her ultimate transforms her into, like, the human form, but yeah. We'll see. Because obviously, as a band, they want to promote, like, Arya as, like, this human form. It feels like she's, like, hiding what she truly looks like, but yeah. Like, the preliminary looks we saw, like, well over a year ago at this point. Like, maybe even 2 years ago at this point, because it was, like, before the game's release, was mostly showing her as the robot form, so yeah. I don't see why we assume she's not a robot anymore. But it is a question on how much of her is the robot or not. Yeah, hopefully she's mostly a robot. But yeah. The drive discs come eventually. I saw something very pog. We'll get to it later. When are the drive discs shown? Yeah, this is way after. Yeah, event meeting them, that's cool. And I liked all their designs. Her hair looked pretty faded out there. I like the bright sort of, what is it, like platinum blonde? Yeah. And then, yeah. I'm not sure how I feel about her human form here, though. I guess the main reason I would want her to mostly be in the robot form is that I think I love her human form the least, but I'm sure like in combat it might give a very different feeling, because I feel like a lot of agents might feel a bit plainer without like their weapons and stuff. Yeah, I just feel like I might not love her design as much as the others. Also, they only showed these two. But yeah, I did want to know, yeah, in this area with, I assume it's the lighting, her hair looks honestly a bit green. Yeah, I assume it was more of a platinum blonde. Maybe it has a hint of green in it. I think we didn't get a chance to see you. I think we know their, at least their performer names. Yeah, Nicole, then that's cool to see them again. Like, gear. I'm a reminder how Obo Squad just didn't get their gear. Any gear. That's so cool of them. Alright. Oh, and now we can talk about the drive disc, which is what I'm excited about. Not this one, because this is just 20% crit rate, 10% attack, as long as you're playing Shunguang, which is good. I think for some reason they were doing 12% crit rate, and that was it. That was kind of insane. Because it's literally 4% less crit rate than Inferno Metal. Feels like a weird choice. Yeah. Yeah, it's just 20% at crit rate and 10% attack when you're playing Shunguang, whatever. If you don't get her, like, I don't think I will, unless I'm super lucky, and she works well with Seed, because that's my only reason why I would want to grab her. Otherwise, yeah, this is super useless. But this is also going to be super useless to many players if they don't get that specific idol, you know? They'll just get this incidentally when they're farming Shunguang. You know, them, not me. But yeah, this is super interesting and sort of gives insight. First off, it's called Shining Aria, and we know, I mean, an aria is a music thing, I know that much. But we know the robot girl, people call her Yutane, from unofficial information, unofficial sources, I believe. But from the cards we saw, her name is definitely Aria, at least as a performer name. So, you know. And then of all the characters, she looks the most ether element. Anyway. Sorry, I'm always looking outside just in case someone gets home and I need to do stuff. Anywho's it? Yeah. She feels like, especially if we've seen her robot design officially, so she feels the most ether element, so it makes sense that this would be for her. I wish this was anomaly proficiency, AP plus 30. I think that would have been nice, but maybe it would have been too much of the objectively best piece, and I think it would definitely power creep Phaethon's Melody for Vivian, because she wants to stack AP, and then that would just be objectively more AP than her own disc set gives her. Yeah, a lot of these disc sets are way too personalized. It makes it very boring. Like, you have to be an ether agent and then play with a stunner to max this out. Like, you know, in a reliable manner. But I do think it's interesting, because clearly it's a good chunk of AP. So I still think it's useful for non-AP agents as long as they basically attack at a reasonable interval. And clearly, you know, it's not for any of the off-field agents, except Vivian, because I believe her blooms, or at least attacks that activate her blooms, count as basic attacks, so she can apply this, funnily enough. But her own disc set provides more AP, so she wants that. But, and Crippler's damage by 25% on stun. This is pretty strong combination. 36 AP plus 25% damage, but this is only for stun, but, you know, it's reliably during stun, which is pretty strong. It's only damage, but more often than not, I believe anomaly agents tend to have the least amount of damage buffs in their kit. Also, sorry for the squeaking of this stool I'm sitting on. It has a weird shape. It's like, it can like retract and like scoot up, I guess. But yeah, so it's rubbing against its own cushions. Yeah. It just, I think, clearly indicates that the idols will be a sort of a stunner anomaly team, which could be super interesting. Obviously, this set I feel is very obviously made for her specifically, which probably means at least one or two of the idols are stunners. And I say two because I don't think it's impossible both are stunners. And they just do similar but different things. Maybe one is more like a generalist, but still very optimal for the main DPS Aria. But then the second one is much more specialized into what specifically, maybe anomaly in general, like one who works well with like maybe ether agents or like the type of attacks Aria does, while the other is for an anomaly stunner. That's my guess at a possible, but you know, I think it's more likely to support stunner anomaly, and she will be designed in a way to work as a solo DPS ether anomaly, unlike Vivian, who's very reliant on second DPS to deal good damage, because she wants both anomaly span for disorders, but also to have a strong anomaly for like her a bloom spam to multiply, you know, and EX spam to multiply the value of all those anomalies that get applied. Because, yeah, I mean, Vivian is just super powerful that way. Okay, I get dead silence when I'm not speaking, so I think that helicopter might not have been audible, despite this open window I'm right next to. Yeah. I think the best guess is that you here, Nangong, I believe is what we've read her name out as. which is unfortunate for people who liked her original name or from unofficial sources, but it still says like Azrael on her wing, which is interesting. But that, I mean, Magus still has Brujas on her like chin or something, so I don't think that very much means that's still her name, unfortunately. But yeah, you here seems like she it's probably the center based off of the old like reveal of their designs showing what kind of weapons she has, and she looks really sick. So if I'm gonna get one, it would probably be her, and I really hope she's the center, and specifically a center made for any anomaly agent. I think that could be super rad. And if I'm getting Alice, I think Alice would be one of the best agents to work with Center, because she's one of the best anomaly agents just as a solo DPS. So, you know, duh. If you weren't going to play an anomaly agent like an attacker, it would be either Yanagi or Alice. And then, you know, Miyabi too, but, you know, that feels different. Yeah. Could easily be OP for Miyabi as well. Yeah. Interesting disc set. Very eager to see what the idols bring out. I'm okay with skipping this. This is definitely a powerful set. 20% crit rate. This is... for frame of reference, Shadow Harmony, the disc set for Ultra Zero Ambi is 12% attack, 10% 12% attack, 12% crit rate. This is 20% crit rate, 10% attack. And for the difference here, it's 10% damage versus 15% aftershock damage, which is good for Orphe. I mean, they increase the amount of aftershock damage Soldier Zero Ambi dealt, but it's not like close to 100% like what it is for Orphe, so you know. That's about the same value here. But yeah, objectively, like way more crit compared to it's 10% crit rate versus 2% attack. Like difference. Insane. Well, 8% crit rate versus 2% attack, right? Yeah. Yeah, it's still insane. Yeah, compared to Inferno Metal, though, 28% crit rate versus 20 and 10% attack, yeah. Inferno Metal is just the best crit stat, like, crit amplifier in the game, so yeah. How long has it been? Almost an hour. My bad, I'm sorry, everyone, because there's something more to go. Yeah, is this how... right, the substat changes. Yeah, tuning calibrators, we'll be able to pick two of the stats, which is very needed, because man, it's so cringe to like use a tuning calibrator and just immediately get rid of the disc because you just didn't get anything valuable from it. Like, come on. But yeah, at least you can do this, like get 2 crit stats on like an ER disc for Orphe, or 2 the attack and AP, well, AP and attack percent for an ER disc for Bernice now, since that's what she wants, even though, gosh, I will talk about that later. I see, and you can make it from tuning calibrators, which is interesting. 2 tuning calibrators, though, to make it. That's, I mean, I think it's worth it, though. Hopefully we get more tuning calibrators, and then we also see the resource here for upgrading your agents. Oh, a little phone ad. Oh, and I believe this is where they were talking about. Yep, buffs for these agents. Do we go in there now? Yeah, probably. Yeah. Bernice Soldier 11 Grace officially announced to have buffs, which unfortunately, if you follow unofficial sources, this isn't some big surprise. Though, also following them, yeah, you don't need to be like so shocked. Oh, come on, these 2 characters are getting buffed again. Olin kind of needed it. Like, her buffs were good, but she was still like comparable to Zhao, the agent who released directly after her. So I assume the buff she's getting now will push her over the edge to be, I think, objectively better than Zhao. But she, I think, will still be solidly a T1 agent if you're going by like Pride Win rankings. Soldier Zero Ambi just didn't need any, but because of how they're implementing buffs. Like they're just what they're doing is like adding just some number buffs, you know, which is hilarious. They want to do more than just increase the numbers of agents, but like, come on, element buffs were only good because they objectively increased her numbers, gave her infinite iframes, dude. Like, come on, she just had better numbers. of course her numbers, like her buffs were good, but then they also added chain attack and ultimate get 100% crit damage. Oh wow, I wonder why her buffs feel good. And again, she was about as good as Yun. And so yeah, she's getting, as far as tonight, from unofficial sources, crit damage and res, which is 10% more res than Soldier's 11 is getting, but you know, a limited agent, so she gets better. We'll talk about Bernice later. But yeah, Soldier 0 Anby is just getting like unofficially 25% damage to her aftershock buff, which is team wide. So that is insane. She's a 50% damage buffer to aftershock agents. That's very strong, and I think it maintains her role. I still don't get. Man, I really wish they made a different aftershock like driver, like on field DPS for aftershock agents. I really don't care for Anby, but I appreciate that she's getting buffed, and it's pretty cool. I think the suckiest thing is that she's a newer agent, dude. Like, come on. It sucks that they released such a crappy agent who was like had so many issues. Like, her damage was still good. Like, she was objectively stronger than Ellen and Zhu Yuan. Like, if you thought otherwise, you're just wrong. But like, she had so many issues in her kit that they needed to fix them. And then they waited months to actually fix them, and they decided to make her objectively stronger on top of it, even though her DPS was already alright. Which, like, I mean, it made sense if, like, you fix up the skills, like, they she'll deal more damage, but then they just added more damage to her kit. I don't know, it was weird. I think a bunch of weird choices, and I assume it made her much smoother to play, but, you know, it feels weird to objectively buff a character like this when, like, much older and much weaker characters exist in the game as limited DPS. We'll talk about Bernice later. Yeah. Yeah, then everyone else here is very cool. Very cool to see them and decide to, yeah, we want to buff standard age. I think that's really cool. Yes. Jane Doe skin, I think it looks alright. I think, unfortunately, it falls into the issue that I think every base skin of a character is just objectively better than any skin we've gotten so far. I think Nicole's was... honestly... I do think Nicole's was awful. I'm not sure how strongly I feel that, but it's not even close to as good as Nicole's base skin. I really like it. The monochrome, way better. Oh yeah. Also, the Zhao was free, which we figured, like, without any leaks or spoilers, like, it only made sense. And yeah, material silver level her to 40. That'll be nice. I don't know if I did that correctly, but yeah, if I grinded all that already, which I mean, it would make sense to do, but you know, I forgot. Yeah, like, they did this for Harumasta, so it makes sense to do it here. I don't know if they give any like ice chips, which I will grind anyway, but you know. Sorry, I clicked log in on the game. I assume that's gonna be okay. We might get different background noise. That'll be nice. Do I have that? I do have the game audio muted, which means it'll still come out because I'm looking at desktop audio. And unfortunately, I made my computer start making louder noise, which makes sense because video game. Very warm on top of the computer, which is unfortunate. Anyway, yeah, she's free. Login, which is the normal login. I think people were trying to, like, say, we're getting all this free rewards. One of this is like the normal 10 they give a month, or a patch, which is fine. Yeah. What was there? Oh, wait. Yeah, they're talking about all these rewards. Yeah, okay. A special reward. Yeah, okay. 1,000 polychrome at the... Which I guess I won't have that when I'm pulling for Xiao's Wenjin or Aunt Alice. Bit unfortunate. Check to get in. Yeah, alright. 10. Is this 10 pulls immediately? That's pretty cool. And then make sure to get your Jane skin. I won't have Jane for a long time because I'm not a pay-to-win player. I wanted to mute. And we back for now. I've determined I might this month, as if we get back to the main story of the game, we might have a part 3. But anyway, yeah, the rewards, cool. All right, if this is pre-register, I think this is like some polychrome I think I already got. If this is stuff you get from logging in, is this the daily login reward? Is that what they were adding? Okay, maybe that was just the 10. Hold on, did they say check? Check in? Yeah, these might just, first off, I think this is our normal thing. This might be the thing that just started. So like we get 1,000 polychrome when the patch starts. That's cool. Anyway, hold on, where is it? It's right after? Okay. I need this blasting. I think it was interesting that they had a translation there for S-Rank Agent Zhao. S-Rank Agent Xiao login bonus. Zhao is free! Wow. It was the closed captions, that's funny. And that all sounds goofy. Freaking. Hold on, what was the sign? For forever, is that just her face forever? Yeah. Wow, so many people love her. Damien the goat here, taking notes. Zhao, big hair, her bodyguard. This guy, very excited to see her. Aw, Xiao, so special. All the top agents celebrating her. She's in her car seat. I think that was very clearly like a car seat because she's so small. Very funny. Goofy character, I love her. This is the banners, which we figured. Both will be up the entire patch. This is her W engine. Just a little crystal ball, very cool. Wow. Oh yeah, this is her hair effects. Very cool. Glowing sword, it gets white underneath the hair, so you get the hint of that sort of white hair effect from her ultimate form. Yeah, it's her W engine. Very cute, a little bunny wearing her. It's basically her. And they have little like bunny ear like ties or tying knots, you know, hang it up. Almost looks like a fruit, like a slice of a fruit here for the ears. It's funny. And her glow effect is kind of meh. I like it on the sword at least. Her maybe. That's alright. She has one of the more middling glow effects, which makes sense. Yeah. I think, yeah, this was very interesting. 20% off the first 10 pull, which, I mean, it's a 10 pull, so it's 320 less polychrome, which is, you know, that's cool. It's 320 less polychrome, I don't know. People say you don't worry about clearing Deadly Assault. It's like 300 polychrome. This is basically a free Deadly Assault run. That's it. It's just hey, you know, free polychrome's free polychrome. Is it selfish to ask for more? A bit, but man, I feel selfish if there's not much else. Yeah. First off, we have an easy skip. A Mindscape one I really want, but absolutely won't be getting again. Unfortunate. And then Alice. And so yeah, I would easily want Alice way more than like Shunguang. So it is interesting that they chose to have 2 physical DPS running at the same time. I'm trying to think about it. Just look at a list of agents. I'll look at a different list of agents. Who would they, like, who should they rerun? Also, it's neat to see a list of agents that their IDs and see, like, Nekomato Soldier 11, then Edhari, who I know is because she was formerly Lucia, Caesar Miyabi, and then we get to Coletta Lycon. And then we get later Bernice, then Grace. That's all of them, right? Yeah, that's Arena. Wait, Arena's right after Ellen and Harumasa. Yeah, I mean, first off, Harumasa rerun. Where? Excuse me. It would have been nice, but yeah. If they ever rerun Harumasa, I would really hope they rerun the free agent for at least players who don't have him on their account. So if they do that, I think it's okay to not rerun Harumasa while they are giving away a free Zhao, you know? Hopefully for Season 3, though, like, come on. It feels bad for anyone who liked him, and just because he is a cool, unique playstyle, that it would be nice to allow people to try that out. Yeah, looking at this list of agents, there's a better list of, like, how long it's been since we've last saw agents. Unfortunately, Xingyi is one of the longest agents we've gone without seeing on a rerun, even though because she was our very first rerun. So, but I mean, I don't know. Soldier Zero Ambi rerun feels a bit weird. It feels like, yeah, I mean, she's super buffed now. You're like, go get her. So I guess it makes sense to like run her because she's buffed, but you know, they're running a physical DPS and another attacker alongside the Void Hunter. That's really weird choice, to be honest. And then Xiao, who can work with the Void Hunter. Shocking. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I guess it makes sense for this to be the selection. Gosh, I will say something that feels really bad is I want to get Alice because I really enjoy the Alice Jane team, but I guess we'll see in a bit, yeah, why I might be feeling like I won't get that in a long while. But yeah, she is just a strong DBS, and if you have Orphe at all, this is the character you want. I think with the buff, she probably beats out Seed with Orphe because they're very even. As far as I'm aware, Anbi and Seed are very even DPS. I heard Seed was slightly stronger, so maybe this makes them truly even. It's like only 25% damage, you know, which is still a chunk, but it's like team wide for Aftershock, you know. So yeah, and Astra is still good. She's just not a top tier support anymore. She's just the most versatile, the most usable in any team, but I mean, not by too much. Like, it feels like any team Astra could go into, aside from Evelyn, like Yuzuha can go into as well, and then Yuzuha does like unique things that make her sometimes better even out of anomaly teams. So that's kind of rough for Astra. I think she's easily weakest of the best supports in the game. Then like Lucia, who's the most niche. She's only for Rupture, and that's like a few agents, and she's just garbage for anyone else. But then, yeah, Alice is currently the strongest anomaly DPS in the game, and is like before Shunguang, a top 3 DPS. I think very solidly the 3rd strongest DPS in the game. So she's moving down to the 4th strongest DPS. You know, right behind like Miyabi. Yeah, it feels dishonest to ever claim like Alice is at all weak, but yeah, with how much anomaly nerfing is going on in the game, especially in like DA, and how, you know, they're probably still shilling attack, you know, at least for this patch. I mean, with Arya coming up next patch, yeah, anomaly is gonna come back, and then like, what are you really gonna think Alice is just gonna be super underpowered? Like, she's probably gonna be weaker than Arya, but I mean, she's really strong, dude. So like, I mean, if power creep is just super rampant, if like Arya is like notably stronger than Alice, and that's not including the possible anomaly based supports the rest of the idols are going to be. Yeah, like, even though Yuzuha already exists, like, come on. Yeah, from what we understand, the first S rank will be free on this banner, which has a different like counter. So, pretty cool. I don't know. There's not much more to say. It's pretty dang cool. Oh, I see. So, first S rank. Gosh, you get a bit off on your first 10 pull. Yeah, maybe I'll throw a yellow pull for Alice's Wenjin, if that's the case. But yeah, yeah, definitely pulling for Alice, especially because the first S rank is guaranteed. I think that's like the excuse me, sorry, seals the deal. There will definitely be enough pulls to get 1S. I don't want to say that because I can be super lucky. I'm lucky I never hit the hard pity that like the hard cap for pity 90 pulls, but like I've had 70s. Has it really been an hour and 15 minutes? Yeah. Ugh. It's been so long. Yeah. I'll throw a yellow pull here maybe, but yeah. Unless my luck is terrible, I should be able to get Alice with the first S rank being guaranteed. Oh, that'd be nice. Let's read through how they actually describe this. Select the rate up agent. Alright, we're debuting a special channel. So by debuting, that means this is the start of it, and it feels like this is how they want to do it going forward, right? If this is it, then I can see them going three reruns per patch, and so maybe this lasts the whole time. What did they say? Oh, second half, yeah, they did say that. In the second half of 2.5. Okay, so I will have the polls I need to get to Alice by the time she comes around with the events in the main story, but yeah. Yeah, that sucks. Nah, I won't be able to get Alice immediately, which I see. This, I mean, I think it makes sense. They're selling another attacker and another physical DPS at the same time as the Void Hunter. That's weird, but yeah, it makes sense that only in like, what, I guess that means 2.5 weeks? If even. They have a interesting description of half, where Banyue came in the second half of 2.4 and only is up for 2 weeks. Interesting definition. Yeah. Yeah. It's cool. It's very cool, at least. I hope they keep it like this. I mean, maybe it is. This will swap out. Let's see. Wait. Freely change the selection at any time. Signal search data in the channel will be inherited, and you'll get to enjoy a discounted rate off the first 24. Wait. In both the exclusive rescreening and the W engine reverberation to the channel. Okay. And to that, total signal search count on the above mentioned channels will be reserved and carried over to the next iteration. So yeah, this is what they're using when these channels become available again in the future. Maybe they aren't doing this for like this won't happen again for 2.6. That'd be a shame, because I think it's a very cool idea. But maybe this is just going to be something very special they bring out every so often, which might mean like every half a year. Then, bleh, that's a long time. But yeah, I mean, if they reset the guaranteed on S rank, it's all right. I'll wait as long as it has good reruns. Maybe it'll rerun an idol at that point. That'll be funny. Or maybe the first rerun of this, they use this again in 3.0 and it's all 3 idols. That'll be extra funny, actually. And yeah, calculated from the other limited channel, which I think is fine. Especially if this first one is guaranteed. You don't have to worry about that taking up your, making you go from a guaranteed to a 50-50 on the normal limited channel. Yeah. Oh yeah, there's her. And I think Zhao is sitting here kicking her legs. That's very fun. Filmgoer thank you event. Yeah. Purchasing monochrome on the monochrome market or internet membership. Wow. Or the new Eridu bundle. Is that a new W engine? Oh, I heard there was a new Rupture W engine. Is it here? That's so cringe. Yeah. There's a resource here. It looks like the little blue ticket things are for agents, and the blue dodeca insetrahedron is for the W engines. Wow. And yeah, you got 2 of those and 4 of those blocks. 2 of the blue things, 4 of the blocks. I think we see the shop, but yeah, this is the selection. And this has me worried for 2 things. Kind of a bit frustrated with the possibilities. But yeah, 1, you can select a standard agent, which is an interesting choice, but it is a good thing for the sake of the W engine, because these standard W engines are... okay. 2 of these standard W engines are super solid. and one is still pretty good. The rest are hyper mid, but usable in place of a limited signature. But given choices, given repeats, overclocks, extra phases, these can start to outperform limited W engines quite easily. And if they don't want a mega power creep, they will be foreseeably useful. But yeah, Fusion Compiler here is quite good. It's just a ball of stats. It's a pen main stat with 12% attack, which is in combat attack because it's in the passive. So instead of just being based off of your agent's base attack plus the main stat attack of their W engine, so like it's like what? I don't know. Let's say 880. That's I think a common average for like. It's a high amount for anomaly and a decent amount for attackers. It's 880 plus the 713 of a W engine, and so you have like that 1500, 900, 1500 to 1600 attack is like your base attack. Okay, also W engines have 30 more base attack than these engines. But yeah, you have that 1500 to 1600 times, and that's how you calculate times your passive, and that's how you get your attack stat. But then a combat attack from Fusion Compiler or Brimstone increases based off of that total amount you get after all that counting when you get to combat. So not like it doesn't add things like Asher's attack buff, but if you have like 3000 attack going into combat, instead of the percent boost being based off of your base stats, it'll be based off of that 3000 you have going into combat. So like in combat attack is really strong, and I believe all of these engines are super special in that they double in potency from phase 1 to phase 5. So this goes up to like 24% in combat attack on top of the doubling the amount of AP it gets, because every special or EX special you cast for 8 seconds, so it's very low duration. You have to be aware of that. But it gives you 25 up to 3 stacks of 25 AP. And so that goes up to double it at phase 5 to 150 AP. So yeah, getting copies of Fusion Compiler is very strong. Just being a strong ball of stats. Now, it's definitely nerfed with the current like direction they're going with, like just nerfing anomaly. Everything's harder to apply. So you, like, unlike most, I believe most signatures at this point increases the amount of like either increase AM or increase your buildup. So that's obviously a weakness, but I mean, this is just a strong ball of stats, and I'm pretty sure Yuzuha helps out quite a bit. So yeah. Getting copies of this is insane, and then anyone who utilizes this will be insane as well, because this goes from 20.2%. It has a weird scaling. It goes from 20.2 to 39.8, so it basically doubles, but like a little less. But still, that's almost 40% damage buff. That is very strong, especially compared to other W engines. Because like Ashra's is only 20% damage for comparison. Of course, Ashra wouldn't be able to utilize this because of the very low duration. It's only 3 seconds. And you need to like keep it up or it will revert into like half the strength. So, but still, if someone like Yuza keeps this up 100% of the time because of her damage over time. So that's why this is very powerful in Yuza. And if they ever make more supports like that, which they might not, but they might, this is very powerful. Like, and it just gets better than the Vault for Nicole, because that's only up at phase 5, only 24% damage buff, but only to her, and only for 2 seconds, only to her EX chain and ultimate. And then this is for 3 seconds from 10 to 20% damage. And then, but it goes to from that to 20 to 39.8% damage, which is pretty insane. Yeah, these two it makes sense to give you the option if you're getting this thing, this bonus anyway. It's cool to have these options, but it's also cool to have these. And this is pretty mediocre, I would say. It's good for her own energy, I guess. You really don't need this though. It's a ball of stats comparable to Time Weaver. The real only difference is that Bernice uses this easier, and then it gives her some energy. That's really it. This is I don't know. some calculator, like Intronaut's calculator, makes it seem like it's like way better, but I believe Internet struggles with like doing Time Weaver. I don't have Bernice here anymore. That's a shame. Oh, thank goodness the ad was removed. All right, not all of them though. I assume those will still pop up. That's annoying. Let's see. I assume all the best. I'm too the best of anyone uses their own signature. Yeah, it makes enough sense to me. Yeah, this is hilarious. I'll look at a normal Bernice, and not a crit one. Oh, hey, this person is also the rank 1 GUN. That's very rad build. That's very interesting that she doesn't even come close to hitting her max crit rate, but you know that's close enough with Nicole. Doing this with phase 1 Brimstone. Oh, but Mindscape 1 too. That's very good. Sorry, I think this was 43. Yeah, that's 43 subs. That's very powerful. Yeah. A 36 sub Bernice. And how does it compare? For some reason, it's like this much stronger than Time Weaver because it has a hard time calculating the disorder damage, I believe. Like, I don't think it can comprehend how to do disorders. Where's Piper Wheel? Piper. 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 Where's Piper? Piper Wheel. Yeah. Okay. Maybe it does. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I don't think this website can possibly calculate this correctly because I believe the disorder damage here is based off of what you disorder, which for this build would be Piper's assaults, which isn't that great. But also this here assumes a properly maxed out. Is this fire damage? It is fire damage. This assumes having max stacks at all times. It's less than 8% worse. Oh, is this attack percent? It is attack percent Bernice. Oh. And she still has over 350 AP. That's hilarious. Yeah, obviously it gets worse if you put in like Yuzuha. And then do the normal things like Whipping Cradle. I don't know why it took me forever to remember the name. And then you can't put Time Weaver here. Oh, well, yeah, I guess you can. That's funny. But yeah, oh, okay. Now it looks no more normal. Look at this. Time Weaver in... First off, well, I think Tomb... Actually, I don't think it matters having Tomb Time Weavers. I think this would be correct. Yeah, and then Fusing Compiler specifically. And look at this. Only less than 2% worse if you have pen ratio. Less than, and this is a bit stronger if you properly had any AP slot here. But then, this is only a phase 1 Fusion Compiler. Imagine you had phases on your on your Fusion Compiler. Yeah, I think Bernice's own signature is a terrible choice. It helps you maintain stacks because it gives you some extra regen. But when we get to talking about Bernice's buffs, rough. We'll talk about it. It'll be more helpful then, but it's not as helpful as you might think, which it really sucks. Yeah. This is more items you get from the more items you get from the shop. Or this is a battle pass, right? Yeah. The resonating chord. Oh, I see. Okay, so this is thank goodness. I thought that was like a W gen I heard about. But yeah, you get that stuff. Okay, I see this. All right. That is really cool. Okay, this is something I missed my first couple times. This is a resource you use to build. Dang it! I wanted this login screen. Hold on. Hey, everyone, this looks really cool. Man, look at this. Boom! Wow. Wow, that's awesome. Anyway, going to my inventory, which is here, yeah. Where? Storage. Dang, I only have 196, but this is what you use to build W engines. So first off, stop using these. Everyone needs to know to stop using these. But, oh, this is sick. All right, I wasn't sure, but knowing, seeing it now, yeah, it's right here, the symbol, this here. You can pay 60 of these to get one. Okay, you only get one. So, when does this reset? Does it have a time? No, it doesn't say here. I assume this would be a monthly reset thing. So for free to play, you probably... let me check. How does the signal shop look? This is what the signal shop looks like. This resets monthly. No, it doesn't reset monthly. No, of course it doesn't reset monthly. This says refresh here. Let's see. Refreshes, okay. And that wouldn't say refresh. Oh, no, yeah, it is. Okay. Left this month. Yeah, one. Alright. And then go back to... I hate having two windows open. Go back to here. It says ×1, right? And, okay. It might make more sense. It might make more sense. Because this is just saying 1 per 4 of these. And you do need 240 to make 4. So first off, yeah, again, everyone stop using these. Stop building these. No longer use Box Galaxy. Box Galaxy is gone. Let me check. Use the wrong keyboard. That's so embarrassing. I'm in Scout Outpost. These items. I'll grab 5. Exactly 5 of them. Wow. Well. Oh wow, no, I had one left over, really. I guess you can buy 6 at a time. But yeah, I'm out. But you know, there's still over a week left in the month, so. But this resets monthly. So yeah, get these, I guess. What else grants them? Does it say where you get them? Is there like a... When you dismantle old W engines, it's possible to reserve. Oh, maybe, let's see. If you go to your storage, and recycle. Well, first off, let me recycle all my B ranks. Yeah, I don't need those. Okay, unfortunately. Let's see. No, okay. Let's see. Oh, that's pretty good. Alright. Hold off until, you know, info is officially revealed. I think I have a leveled one, right? No, okay. I mean, if I ever... My corn is level 40, so it'd be foolish for me to keep this. What it wouldn't be foolish for me to get rid of all these excess kaboom the cannons. All these excess drill rigs, right? Maybe I keep them. Oh, also I should do that. And then, is this even useful? It's attack main stat, increases damage. My scroll wheel doesn't work right on this mouse. I should swap it. But yeah, okay, I don't have that many A ranks, unfortunately. Yeah, hold on, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, 9 per row. Yeah, 9 per row. 2. That's 18 at least. That's very interesting. Okay. I don't think I can. Maybe I could, though. I mean, I haven't maxed out Do I haven't maxed out? Yeah, I haven't maxed out Bashful in the Vault. I won't need a second one. So yeah, keep an eye out. Careful not to get rid of anything useful. It is a shame because Box Galaxy is useful when you're early on, but gosh, if you can in fact just trade 240, maybe they will make sure to try to keep it a rarer resource. Hold on, actually, let me do this. I didn't mean that, but you know, let me claim my redemption code money. But go to my options just to have this lower resource frame up. Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting that it blacks out my screen when it's not in focus. But yeah, yeah, this is insane. Yeah, if this doesn't reset, like, isn't like a reset monthly thing, yeah, you can get free W engines, which is insane. We'll see. I think they showed this, but not the agent page. So I guess we'll see if they do something similar there. Maybe there's a resource we can convert into a free agent, which would continue to be worrying. Because right now it's saying we can get a free W engine. And I mean, for my sake, gosh, unfortunately I would have to pick this item because I use Trigger and could ever always utilize her for a Rupture agent who just doesn't benefit from the defense shred from her signature. But then, like, hey, if I get Jane, that's still useful, I guess. So I think because this has a dodge or dash attack requirement to max out, it can be difficult to utilize for like a Jane Alice team, I think, because you're spending a lot of time on Alice as well. But yeah, just another option to get these W engines is kind of insane. I'll really curious on if they allow something similar to the other shop, because that would be insane to actually let you pick these agents, but then would also simultaneously be worrying. First off, gosh, there's some insane mind skips here. One, I think it'd be insane because then I'd be able to get Jane and like have that Jane Alice team. And then as soon as you get M2 on Jane, that Alice is a monster. But on top of that, first off, I really love Bernice. It would be cool to get her M6, but on the other hand, side of things, M2 Chingy is pretty strong, even with Dylan existing. I mean, M2 Chingy is pretty strong. It's defense shred, which it doesn't help all those Rupture agents. But you know, it's also ease of play for M1, but it's also 28% more stun damage, which is insane, all added up. Like 108% more stun damage to the stun compare that to someone like Lighter, who is like 75% damage and 15% rush red. That's pretty strong on its own too, but 108 stun damage, which is a rarer multiplier, even though stun starts you off pretty high. I mean, you also go very high with damage as well. That's really powerful, I think. Let alone getting M6 Chingy. M6 on Chingy would be nuts. It's definitely, as far as I'm aware, the best M6 form of support agent in the game. It's 20% res shred on top of like a ton of damage for herself. And very powerful. I think it has some issues because it like has super hard like stun lock with her hold basic. So yeah, you might want to like dodge attacks, but then she like stops the enemy from moving, which is a double-edged sword. Like, hey, that can sometimes be useful. It could also be hurtful by not letting you like dodge or parry an enemy when you wanted to. Still, if you were able to get an agent for free, or at least utilize a permanent resource that even free-to-play agents or players can get, that would be nuts. But also feels super worrying because I really like Bernice, and she's clearly very far from Vivian tier, which is frustrating. It's like super frustrating how much weaker Bernice is than Vivian. And like, if agents weren't getting buffed, Bernice would really belong here, because these are the 3 standard agents of all time. Chingy is very strong, but she feels at best Lycon tier, right? Because she's very usable, and she can be very strong, but she's very hard to play and like it's only like best for like an already OP agents because the alternative choices aren't strong until Dylan came around and just like blew every stunner out of the water. But like at M2, like her numbers would be insane, right? And so you could slowly build up to an M2 Dylan or an M2 Chingy, and like that's just still strong even in a world where Dylan exists. She just has other issues. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe there's a chance. But yeah, as far as I'm aware, these W engines are selectable, and that feels insane. It's hard to tell which is the best choice. It depends. Like this, if you use Yuzuha, this is objectively better for many teams, and some not even an anomaly. This is, I mean, unfortunately for me, I have like Heartstring Nocturne, and I'll use that for plenty of agents. So this is only useful for GUN specifically. Pretty useful for GUN specifically, but only for GUN. Because I think even Soldier 11 would use Heartstring Nocturne. I think eventually this will go back to being better. I think quite easily. Because it goes from, I believe it goes from 28% combat attack from its passive ability to 56, right? That's insane. That's a lot of attack. Like, Heartstring Nocturne is a lot of crit stats, but that's a lot of attack at phase 5. Yeah, and then similar to this will go be 24% combat attack with 150 AP. Like, this is starting to give as much attack. I'm pretty sure it ends up giving more attack than Weeping Cradle because of the combat attack buff. And 150 AP compared to Weeping Cradle's 186. I think Weeping Cradle is about 186 or 184. I'm quite confident it's less than 190, so it's like more attack, slightly less AP. That doesn't wear off after a stun, but you have to maintain it. It's a lot harder to maintain for many agents. But then it does that while also having pen main stat. So yeah, like way better than Weeping Cradle at once this is phase 5, and I mean already better than Weeping Cradle for certain agents. Sorry. Letting the chair squeak. Yeah. Yeah, knowing you can pick one of these for free is quite insane. Yeah, the question is if they allow that. Megan, Grace, Rita, Coletta. Yeah. A slight worry though. Yeah, personalized decoration reward. New feature in an equipping bit. Commemorative tickets to unlock abundant rewards, including selecting an A-ring. Alright. I see. So the commemorative tickets, and we'll unlock these rewards. I don't think that necessarily means these will be limited to purchase only, but I can already see like these aren't restricted to purchase only. So that's insane. I will assume these agents aren't purchasable. It still leaves me worried because this character is getting buffed and is still associated with a bunch of standard agents and 2 undervalued agents. Like, even though I believe Chingy can be pretty strong in the right hands, many players think she's like completely irredeemably garbage. You're totally wrong, but yeah, if she's hard to play, then yeah, I get it. And still, she's associated with being bad, and like Bernice is here getting buffed and still put on a pack with all these characters. It feels rough and feels worrying to the power level of her actual buffs, which is annoying. Yeah, free skin, it's cool. Shunguang skin, it's cute. Look at this, actually. I don't think this, it's not true at all in the 3D design, but like, I think the way the light brown fades into the darker hair is like way better in this artwork, which is really unfortunate because it reminds me of like a couple of aspects of her design that I just dislike. I think this looks very nice in 2D. You know what? I think it looks yeah, it looks fine in 3D, but yeah, it still has the aspects to her hair that I sort of dislike. It's hard to describe how they do it so differently, but yeah. Renovation. Oh yeah, this is the upgrades. Yeah, and this is how we get these. That's at least 10, which is like a monthly reward. 10 here. Was it anywhere else? Yeah. Oh, okay. This cycles between the yeah. This cycles between the polychrome. It's up to 13, right? So is this? Yeah, wouldn't that be 7? Yeah, it's 700. If it's every other one and it maintains being every other one, there's 1,300 points. So 700. This is 250. I don't know why it says 250. Oh, hey, also, I scroll down, so that's 10 here and 10 here, which is pretty rough because I know these tickets I think aren't as easy to get compared to the merit shop. But yeah, they're definitely a priority now, as are these, unfortunately. Yeah, and oh, I see. And then other daily, then in other places as a daily reward, unless that was like the grinding event. Yeah. So yeah. It was 1,000 per stack. Is what we see. Let's see them level it up. Yeah, you see the skill. Oh, I see. I think they showed the shop right. It's at least 1,000 per. I thought they showed it somewhere. It's like 1K per 1,000 of these things per agent upgrade. Yeah, okay, and they're updating the damage number, so you only get one big number that adds up. Very cool. So you still get your big numbers. And they'll look even bigger now. Oh yeah, right, this stupid like guild system. Yeah, there's some rewards in it. What were the rewards? I don't, because I don't want to be forced to join a guild, but yeah, these are useful. It's useful to get extra money and extra resources, but you know, I'd rather not join a guild. So I hope it doesn't become anything more than that, because I don't like guilds and freaking gacha games, man. And then all the bunch of good rewards seem to be behind them, so like, I hope not. Yeah, being able to go straight to these without having to teleport all the way to the new locations is nice, because you know, sometimes that teleporting can take some time and be annoying. Also, yeah, playing around with a little phone accessory, that's cute. Yeah, new items. Different cat ears, a big old mask. Oh, that's a... No, it's not a rabbit. It has big ears, but then it has like the spikes on the cheeks that look like a cat, but I assume that's rabbit based off the ears. And yeah. A sweep function with the instead of using the Victoria House ticket coupons, which I think I agree with someone else. Those were very cute. Once I'd be using the batteries. Now, prepaid cards. Okay, I see. Yeah, use these prepaid cards to get batteries, which makes sense. Yeah, those are very useless to anyone who finished all the other content that they just aren't making where you use those. We'll take the existing Victoria Housekeeping coupons. Yeah, makes sense. It's a shame for anyone who like the little cute idea that, yeah, we use these and Victoria Housekeeping comes in and does some grinding for us. That was a cute concept, but yeah, might as well just consolidate it into this one already pre-existing item. Yeah, recommendations. Okay, so they're adjusting how our discs look. And then yes, this is also very cool, being able to go back to finally play through like, the story as it happened, which I think is fine. It was pretty annoying that you couldn't replay stages. I still greatly dislike that the HDD isn't used at all, and just means we just sorry, drinking water. Where's my phone? It's right here. Sorry, I have to typing to someone. Can't type different words and talk at the same time. Okay. Okay. Can I see these? Maybe. Yeah, I see them. Okay. Hold on, actually, I forgot I should respond for. And there. All right. Let's see. Yeah. Actually, I think I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, it's good that we can finally like get through the see previous stories and have that ability, but I still feel frustrated that we don't use the HDD and can't have like hard modes, at least based off of like specific hard modes based off of the story content we experience. I think that was really cool, and it's a shame they just don't do that at all anymore. Oh, okay, and they're updating the camera. That's cool. I like using the camera, so I will appreciate that. Okay, and I manage the resources, so hopefully that'll be very nice for the phone. This was a funny skit. Oh, AI generated video. Aw, so adorable. I mean, a completely real video. I never thought she was that type of person. Huh? Oh, it's AI generated. Oh, my bad, my bad. Yeah. Very cute video. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah. This is our rewards. I think this is from like the website they're telling us to go to. You get some free rewards for going to it. So like head over to this pre-registration website. But yeah, here's the free stuff we get right now. And after 2.5, more free stuff. And invite friends. Woo, so cool. I was hoping to check out Zhao's. Wait, what did they? Hold on. Just now. Yeah, so this is definitely normal music, so maybe they mean this. And this is Shunguang's. Yeah, it's so nice, so cute. Sad music. Wait, I see what they're doing. I don't know. This reminds me of Everlasting Night of Teenage Girls. I don't remember if it was girls plural. Anyway. Hug. I remember, I don't know where I saw it. They said a band named H Delta G was pronounced Hug, so I'm pretty sure it's Hug. Great band. That one song, Everlasting Night of Teenage Girl, was a very fun song. It's like a Japanese rock band. I know them because they had a song called Colorful, which I really like from them, and it's also my favorite Millie song because Millie covered that song. Anyway, saying goodbye again. Yeah, alright. I think that's it. Nothing else important. Thanks for watching. And now to this. I should... Okay, I forgot to inform everyone there's absolutely going to be part 3. Part 3 of doing the main story. Yeah, not as modern. I concur with this statement. Maybe differently than he does. I've scrolled down to my own comment. I left 2 comments on here unfortunately. Yeah. Oh, maybe the second one wasn't kept. Unfortunately, this is using unofficial information. This comment here is based off of unofficial information, but it is a frustration that I'll get into when they talk about Bernice. Let's see if I spot my face. Oh, here I am. Yeah. Yeah, this will go into something they mention about Bernice, but when they say non-modern, I really feel like, yeah, a schism is how I put it here, but just a big difference between DPS from, let's see, should I make it bigger? Okay, I don't need to, okay. Sorry, this mouse sucks, so I don't have, yeah, good, like, control of it. Yeah, like, looking at the agents released and what they do, let's, like, specifically for Anomaly, because I think that's a better way to look at it, because I think attackers have more been in line with what they do, like, this entire time, but for Anomaly, the agents in 1.0 were Piper and Grace, and what do? They apply their Anomaly quickly with some boost. For Grace, her specifically her specials, because her basics were physical attacks, and you know that's part of her gimmick is that her special is like a burst of electric damage, and her core passive when she applies her stacks is an extra big burst of like build up, but that's about it. And the only other thing in her kit is her additional ability, giving her up to 36% extra damage on her shock. So that's it. And it's anomaly damage, which makes it not damage, nothing else but shock. So it's a separate multiplier, and electric damage is really good because she doesn't have any damage in her base kit. So that's it. She applies shock, and it's stronger than usual. Anyone else's shock. Like, it'll be always stronger than Anton's shock. And she applies it very quickly. Piper, what she does, she applies assault with very high buildup, and her additional ability gives her stacks that increases the team's damage, but includes her own DPS. And then she has a Mindscapes that increase her damage further, which is pretty cool, but all that is in service to increasing the damage of her shocks, or increasing damage to Piper's assaults that she plays very quickly with her really high increased buildup, which she gets from her stacks. So, like, she applies assaults very quickly, and Grace applies shock very quickly and with a bit of a boost. And so next up is Jane, and the reason why Jane is very comparable to Piper at M0, well, Jane at M0, Piper at M6, is that Jane has much stronger assaults. Her gimmick is that her assaults crit if you have enough AP, they'll always crit. So they're just 50% stronger. That's it. Like, she doesn't have any damage buffs, but they're just stronger. All right, I could close this actually. I don't believe she has anything else in her kit. I do know Passion State. It's in her attack basic. Yeah, she'll gain a anomaly proficiency. Okay, wait, if she has enough anomaly proficiency, her build-up rate is increased in Passion State, but her Passion State makes her gain some attack, up to 600 attack. So I believe that's why she wants 420 AP, is because it'll increase her build or attack by 600. Yeah, otherwise you just need 375 to always crit an assault. and her additional ability is just a build-up rate, and even more build-up rate if they have an anomaly. Cool. That's it. All right, she gains up to 600 attack based off of her AP, and I could open up the game and look at that. I feel like that would probably be a better way to look at it, but it's fine. I mean, it'd be better for visuals, but yeah, it's okay. All right, so yeah, Jane gets 600 attack based off her AP only in Passion State, which increases her build-up rate, but she doesn't have nearly as much build-up as Piper. So her 50% stronger assaults don't come out as fast as Piper. But yeah, all she does is, apply much stronger assaults. That's all she does. And then Bernice is the 4th anomaly agent we ever get. Her gimmick is that she applies anomaly while off field. No, unfortunately, the better we get at the game, the more players in general are just better at just dealing with just swapping your characters in and out. So I guess what really matters is how much do agents actually do with what they actually do. And unfortunately for Bernice, what she does is afterburn. I mean, this is some damage, but her main shtick is applying burn with her afterburns, and they get 30% damage, which applies to the burn. That's cool, but unfortunately this only applies to afterburn, meaning this. None of her EX specials, none of her ultimate, none of her basic attacks, none of this gets boosted by this 30% damage boost, which you should always have because all you need is 300 AP. Alright, well, alright. Only a portion of her kick increases burn damage by 30%, which means that most of her burns aren't 30% stronger, or don't have this 30% damage buff. Alright, well, what else does she do? Her afterburns, and EX specials. Some EX specials have increased buildup. Okay, and burn duration increase. Alright, that is pretty good. If you instantly proc a disorder, this is about a 20% increase to the disorder damage on the burn, which is pretty good. It goes into Bernice's kit, how she's a sub DPS, and she's a disorder enabler. So that's solid, but yeah, that's technically something Grace and Piper can do. Bernice is just more effective at it. She's more effective at being causing disorders, and her disorders are a bit stronger. Yeah, but that is still what she does. She applies burn, and her burns and burn disorders are a bit stronger. I think when we get insane is the very next patch right after Bernice, when we get Yanagi, and instead of just applying anomaly, like what she does is, I believe it's in her basic, right? Or I guess it would make sense to be in her special because that's how she swaps form. I guess I don't actually know where it is in her kit, where it talks about it. Yeah, and this talks about how her, something else that's important to her. Yeah, alright, so her forms are here. And she has 2 forms, one increases her electric damage, one increases her pen ratio, and you can maintain both of these buffs. Alright, so she's a bit stronger. The EX special, the damage multiplier of her disorder is increased by 250%. Okay. Alright, well, her disorder damage is just stronger. Alright, that makes sense. Alright, so she is disorder based. And, when EX special hits an enemy, she gets more electric damage. Okay. So that's only 20%, which is less than the bonus Bernice only has to her afterburn, but this is just all of Yanagi's electric damage, which is all of her shock. Okay, that's cool. And then she gets some build-up boost. Okay, so she applies shock, and her disorders are a bit stronger. And then you get to ultimate and EX special, and she's kind of nuts. She's just sort of like a Grace, and then her EX special says, if you suffer from an anomaly, you deal a big burst based off of her AP. Okay. I think immediately agents started getting kind of insane. It just, instead of just applying their anomaly and, functioning with other anomaly agents, like, doing disorders and stuff, we start getting into agents who just apply anomaly and do something a bit crazy. In Miyabi's case, it's apply anomaly and deal insane amount of crit damage because of insane scalings, which I won't see because these are level 1. Actually, how does it look here? Yeah, it's still 2,000 times multiplier, by the way. At level 1, it goes up to 4,000. Yeah, she has an insane crit, and it scales with how many disorders you can get. Pretty cool. Oh, and she has plus 90 AP innately, so that she has plus 90 AP innately, and Miyabi has, like, I believe, a much longer duration on her anomaly. Her unique anomaly, which increases her own disorder damage, you know. Yeah. Right? No, that's not the duration increase. I wonder where it talks about. Oh. 30 seconds. That's insane. That's 10 times the anomaly duration, right? Oh wait, this is just her ice fire debuff. Zone and independent debuff and multiplier. I have to find it. Oh hey, UPS. I think it was UPS. Or no, actually it's not UPS. It's something. I think it's something Express. Anyway, thank you, dog, for telling me this. Gosh, I assumed somewhere it said she had a duration increase. Maybe I got this wrong and confused. Yeah, frost damage, frost anomaly. I thought it had an increased duration. This just tells you about it as an anomaly. And unfortunately, maybe I was wrong. I thought she had an increasing anomaly. Maybe I conflated it with Bringer's buff, increasing anomaly duration. Maybe I checked. I thought I checked and counted that it lasted 20 seconds. And that's what I did, which, yeah, I mean, in that case, I mentioned how if you instantly got a disorder off of a Bernice burn, that disorder is 20% stronger because of plus 3 seconds Bernice does to the anomaly duration. And then Miyabi's anomaly duration is 20 seconds. Even if your Miyabi has less AP than, you know, most anomaly agents, like, her disorder itself is going to be much stronger than usual, you know. Oh, hey, Socks. Yeah. Yeah, I'm going over, unfortunately, my own frustrations about the agents. Yeah, at least the anomaly agents. How it felt like the first 4 anomaly agents we got, the 2 standards, were pretty... like, the 2 standards and the first 2 limiteds were pretty basic. They were do anomaly but better. Then the second, right after Bernice, we get Yanagi, who is do anomaly but better, and then also do these massive bursts. Then we get to Miyabi, who is, you know, Miyabi, insane crit damage and also scales with you doing disorders. And then we get Vivian. I remember counting. I think you need like 400 AP on her, and then what this amounts to, yeah, okay. I don't have my controller connected yet, so I remember counting at like about 400 AP. These start doing 1/3 of the applied anomaly. It feels a bit nuts. Yeah, like, because you have like 5 stacks of these, and then someone like Piper comes in, does her spin, then stops spinning, does 2 blooms, and then disorders, which is his own burst, and then that is also another bloom. So that's 3 blooms instantly. That's 90% of anomaly. So Vivian's just kind of insane. Like, it's no surprise, like, she's just way stronger than Bernice. And then, yeah, our last anomaly agent was Alice, who's, yeah, also very obviously insane. Hope to get her. And part of why I hope to get her, but, yeah, I mean, the main reason I want to get her is just this team was just so fun in Lost Void. I am worried, though, that because Jane here is available in, like, the, you know, that presumably exclusively limited like monochrome bonus shop. I never noticed she had mice set on her jacket. That's funny. Yeah, but yeah, presumably because she's in that shop, there's this worry that she won't be available like on a rerun anytime soon. Though I did finally notice that you can use those like at least 60 of the items that you use at Galaxy to get a W engine. All right, at least as long as it's not limited per month, you can spend 60 for that resource you use to get a W engine, and then you need 4 of those like little cube things to get a W engine, which means like Bernice's, Chingy's, or Jane's, or any of the standards, which is kind of insane. Yeah. Yeah, I'm lucky I don't care too much about Sambi, but yeah. It's nice to pull DPS this year. It'll be my second limited anomaly DPS, because my first 3 were Bernice. But yeah. Gosh. But yeah, after learning that it looks like, as long as it's a permanent shop, it looks like even a free-to-play player can get those limited W engines, which is kind of insane, or those standard engines too. Like, I don't have enough, but I think I have enough A rank W engines because I'm at 200. I still kept a lot of A rank dupes, so I'll be able to get at least one, as long as you can buy multiple. Because it looks like that one shop, yeah. Unfortunately, I'm not sure if I just want to phase up Fusion Compiler even more, or Weeping Cradle, because that's insane. Or maybe even get Jane Sig. I have 2 of both. Unfortunately for Brimstone, because I have hard string, yeah, getting Brimstone copies is just to make Zhuyuan even stronger, which, I mean, isn't a crazy idea. Phase 5 Brimstone just sounds really funny, but I'm cool with Phase 2 first so far. Yeah. Dang. But yeah, they didn't show that agent shop. It looked like you need two of those. They gave 2 of those blue tickets, and so since they gave 4 of those, like the orange little block materials, which is what you need to get a W engine in that little bonus shop, I'm vaguely curious as if they might give a resource to get those blue tickets that even a free-to-play could get. I would assume not, but it would be insane. And also leave me worried for Bernice's upgrades, since, oh man, I actually could go that way around. So cool. It would leave me worried for Bernice's upgrades if they put her in a shop that even a free-to-play player could get. Because like she's listed with a bunch of standard agents, and a few of the limited agents of all time. Like, I have a high opinion of Chingy, but most players don't, so it makes sense to put like a few of the most asked for to get buffed agents together in a shop with standard agents, because opinion of them is so low. But yeah, I assume that the agent shop will be limited to like resources only, like you can get from paying. But it would be pretty cool if that, just like the W engines, there was a resource in the game. I'm not sure what it would be. My first guess would be, let's see, and it wouldn't be these, but the oh, I think this is what I was thinking. The original chips, what you used to. I have a lot of these though. I wonder how many of these give away. I definitely more than the Wenjin chips. And what were these used for? Certification seals. Ah, I don't know what those are. You know what? I'm pretty sure these are used in place of the chips. I was guessing these, but maybe not. I would assume, like, yeah, no free agent, but yeah. Anyway, but yeah. I'm saying, but yeah, again. A lot, but yeah. I'm gonna lose my mind with my own speaking and patterns. I was talking about their little behind the scenes on the character optimizations, and yeah, I'm gonna lose it. feels like how different the anomaly agents are. Just in just one patch, they immediately started getting a bit insane, which feels bad if you liked Bernice, because she was unfortunately on the side of the anomaly agents right before they got a bit much. Which, I mean, feels a bit bad as someone who got M2 and for all that pen stacking. And knowing the unofficial sources onto what they're buffing her with her, but it's not entirely unofficial. I found my comment because I had some opinions on. Man, that was way right down, which is understandable. Though I was surprised on the number of comments. It was new enough, but you know, these little behind the scenes things, I don't think it as viewed as the big videos. So at least it was easier to find. But I do understand what they mean by not as modern, in that vein of what our agents originally did. You know, they seemed more basic, but not in a way I think is bad at all. To me, like agents like Grace, Piper, Jane, and Bernice are more like honest. They just do what Anomaly does normally, but better than any non-Anomaly agent. I don't know. Someone might be walking their dog across the street, so my dog's barking. So, like, those original 4 Anomaly agents feel like honest, but then they start immediately, as soon as 1.3, they start making Anomaly agents doing a bit more, but it's to an extent that feels quite insane compared to how they were originally. Yeah. I think I do enjoy how the buffs are looking. My only disappointment is with what we know of what they're doing. They do mention the idea. Like, I actually quite enjoy the gameplay changes, which I know from unofficial. Oh, hold on. Anyway, this is the cutscene where that cutscene, not even from 1.2, but from before, from the 1.2 like special program. So before chapter 4, yeah, that was chapter 4, even came out. This is the cutscene where I really started wanting Polker to be an agent. Yeah. Yeah, there will be shilling attack for at least this patch with Shunguang coming out, but knowing Sparkling Aria, an upcoming agent named Aria, and yeah, just the idols. Yeah, Anomaly will be at least getting a decent bit of shilling, and I'm super excited to see if they actually go with a broad Anomaly-based Sunner. Hopefully that's you. The YUU, formerly Rokudo. Because I mean, she is definitely the coolest looking of the idols to me. So it'd be rad if she was a Sunner, and specifically for any of the Anomaly agents. Because then I'll be justified in getting Alice. Because even if I don't get Arya, who I do still like, even though I only want Alice to play the Jane Alice team, it'll be cool to have like the hyper carry Alice team like get even stronger with the chance of a stunner. Yeah, they talked about Bernice here, and we saw a bit of the kit, right? I appreciate what they're doing. Did they show the swap in here? And that was something I was I probably have a slightly skewed view because I do have M1 Bernice, and I know that M1 is M1 is an increase. Also, I think I started playing the video without putting it back on screen. Oops. Oh well. Yeah, since I have M1 Bernice, I have that. It's only 25%, but still an increase in build-up from the afterburn. But even though I have M1 Bernice, I don't think I ever had that like issue they mentioned here that she had a difficulty in like anomaly buildup. I think the only time I ever felt that is on Fiend, who is fire resistant, and I still like succeed with Bernice again though with M2. Yeah, and so that, but this issue they felt like players had is something I haven't experienced. So I guess I found it a bit interesting. But her rotation rhythm slowed down compared to the other anomaly agents. I kind of get that because other anomaly agents are kind of insane, and someone like Vivian is, I think, very blatant on how she works. As soon as she starts flying, you can just swap off of her, and then she'll come down and get her stacks, right? So I guess that one feels more obvious in how to play her. Though playing something like Rena Grace doesn't make me ever feel like her like rotation speed is slow. Mostly because I just swap in Bernice, whether or not she has enough energy, and just like tap special to reapply my fusion compiler. And because I play fusion compiler Bernice, I have to keep up those 8-second sacks. So I don't know. She's very simple, but I felt like it was still like good, still usable. So I don't necessarily feel that slowed down rhythm, even though like modern anomaly agents are kind of insane on their speed and stuff. Like yeah, Yanagi, but I don't know. It doesn't feel that slow to me. Definitely playing an on-field Bernice here. Yeah, reinstate her as options. I think that statement is kind of funny. Reinstate her as one of the options players would consider. Oh. So that feels like admission that there's a feeling that players don't even consider Bernice as an option for anomaly teams, which is kind of funny. But it's maybe it's something I feel because my personal experience with Bernice is that her crit build at M2 with Miyabi's W engine just ends up stronger a lot of the time. But Miyabi specifically having a W engine, which is basically the anomaly version of Heartstring, which, well, Heartstring is basically another version of Miyabi's W engine. But yeah, because her multipliers themselves are just pretty strong, and I mean, and in fairness, I do have M1. Why do I always press this wrong? I have M1, which is 100 more attack, or 100% of Bernice's attack, which I'm pretty sure all that means is, this is, consider this 350 here a 450% multiplier, which is, hey, that's like almost a 1/3 increase. So that's pretty good for her, like, passive damage she just deals constantly all the time, but then, like, yeah, her abilities have good modifiers. This is her double shot, and then, like, her ultimate is something that has this big of a multiplier, and it goes off while you're playing someone else. It's kind of insane that this is almost double the multiplier, the double Orpheus multiplier, and when they're kind of the same type of ultimate, but then Orphe does like half this multiplier with a ton of passives in her core that greatly increase that relatively small looking number. But yeah, Critney's is not fake, and it's completely real. But yeah, because it feels like she's, one of those honest anomaly agents. Part of her power is in her multipliers, I feel like, which get better with crit stats, which you're not building if you're an anomaly. Yeah. Anyway, this was funny, a bit. I still find success with her as an anomaly agent, but I find more success with her as a crit agent, which feels a bit bad. Okay, and now they're talking about yeah, and I would agree. Standards are very important to get people, especially when they're starting out. And yeah, I'm certainly attached to Coletta. She's one of my favorites. But then on top of that, Rena Bernice Grace, I believe that's the team order I like. Yeah, Rena Bernice Grace. Yeah. I start with Rena, and I start with Rena. And I'm trying to remember it by how I rotate at the start of a ringer fight, because he starts in with an attack that you parry. So you start with Rina with doing her little attack. You swap in Bernice to get off an EX special to start her heat, and then you do that swap right before the perfect assist, so you get an evasive assist with Grace and start doing her combo. Yeah. Coletta's my favorite agent in the game still, but I think one of my favorite teams to play is that Rina Bernice Grace team, and it's two standard agents. It's just fun to constantly rotate between the two. I super dig it. Yeah, even though I don't think I play it insanely well. Yeah. I would say that, part of the attachment to these characters. So yeah, it is appreciated to buff these type of agents, especially with the, level of buffs we've, seen from unofficial sources. Like, two of the agents I like the most are getting buffed like the most in my favorite team. And they say it like this: attack specialty and anomaly specialty, so they're sort of being even with it. And so I guess that means next time they'll do Rina and Coletta to evenly do the support specialty and stunner specialty. I'm still really curious what they would do for Coletta buffs. I guess the main thing, I feel bad because before Rupture released, one of my ideas for a Coletta buff was for her to get Pen. That would help her synergize with Rina. If you want to do more Pen stacking with Rina, it would help her synergize with Bernice, maybe as like a non if you don't have any better support for that team. Also, if the screen ever blacks out, that's me clicking into Zenless 0. I don't know why my computer does that, but interesting. Yeah. I think an idea I had is the main idea for Coletta would be to help make that combo she has more worthwhile to use, because you just get more days out of doing a raw EX. So if they make doing the combo more worthwhile, that would both be pretty cool, because it's a sort of like something to think about doing, because it's a combo, and then while also making her M1 more valuable, because you'll be getting more days off of that will be more meaningful. And then another idea is using Furnace Fire like easier, maybe faster, and feel more rewarding. And I believe you need to consume Furnace Fire to activate her M4, which all that M4 is damage for her chain attack or ultimate. But you need to consume Furnace Fire to get that, and since a lot of the time you don't really do that, so making that easier would, in turn buff her Mindscapes, which I think would be cool. Unfortunately, the biggest thing she needs is like some team-based buffs. So I really like the idea of giving her Pen, not just synergy with Rina, and synergy with Bernice's M2, who's a fellow fire agent, but then it would also be synergy with Grace's Fusion Compiler. So, it gives, I feel like, a lot of reasons that, like, stacking Pen's good. So I feel like there's a lot of synergy with standard agents with Pen, and then Coletta's own, sort of fellow attribute agent. Yeah. Yeah. I still, Coletta's my favorite agent, so I still wouldn't want too massive of changes, which is always the worry with like character buffs. If you like change up the gameplay to a drastic extent. But I think so far, from what I've seen, like they don't do that at all, which on one hand is pretty cool, but worries if you're undercooking anything you're adding. I think they show off. They're starting to talk about and show off buffs here. But Coletta, hard to describe. Another one hard to think about would be Rina. My main thought for Rina is that while they're sitting out there, her Bingbu, Drusilla, and Anistel will actually go and attack, which would be pretty cool. Both, one, because they're both individual entities, so that's just 3 stacks of Kaboom and being refreshed. And 2, it would help I think the main thing is that if they can just continuously attack while just sitting out there, that would presumably be implemented in a way that'll help increase the uptime of her own signature. Yeah. Yeah. I guess for now, for now we have this half of the standard agents. Well, no, not this half, this third. And I think the least considered to get buffed is Lycon because of how useful he is. Yeah. Yeah, I appreciate them trying their best to stick with doing what's understandable signature to their role and design. Even because like all agents early on were relatively basic. But I don't think at all in a bad way. They simplified? Okay, optimize her skill combination and the ability to consume overclock. Interesting. Yeah. We don't see something else that's from unofficial sources, I think. But we do see this, and it says a bloom, which is pretty cool. Is that just from Alright, that was from alting? Yeah, so that was the alt, and then a stack consuming EX special causing a bloom. Yeah. Oh yeah, and that's something we saw. I don't think I saw it was confirmed yet, but we see in this double support team, Grace doesn't have her smiley face, but then you add Bernice, and then yay! Which means, yes! 36% shock damage with another anomaly agent, which is a bit of a, unfortunately, widens the gap between her and using Yuzuha with Grace and Rina with Grace. Unfortunately, that gap was kind of already big because Yuzuha's so insane. I really wish Rina was a bit better because I really like that sort of shock specific niche, like shock disorder niche, like Rina kind of has on top of her pen buffing. And I appreciate that both of the shock anomaly agents we got were a bit pen based, both from Grace's fusion compiler and then just Yanagi having a bit of pen innately. So that was pretty cool that they were sort of designed to synergize with Rina. Yeah. So even though it's a bit sad to not use Rina as much, it's good for giving Grace just much stronger like teams with the best anomaly support. Well, the anomaly support, so the best for all of them. But yeah, 36 shock damage is quite a lot because that'll apply to the disorders. So yeah, that's very, very good for her on top of, all the other buffs she gets on top of that, a bloom and stuff. Yeah. And also the Soldier 11 combos look really sick. She's just like slashing, then just get this sick, like, charging the sword slashes, and like, I think the fifth basic attack looked like it was like this upward slash. Also, what was this? Oh, hold on. Back to the keyboard to this button. Additional trial stages. I see. Ah, cool. So you do these trial stages and you get 500 of this currency. Oh, I think it was in this video because I think I remembered seeing it, but didn't see it in the special program. I think they showed, this shop. It's 1,000 and you need each of these to max out the buff. And so, wow, if you just do the trial thing, you just get a bunch for free. Let's see. Yeah. Wow, alright. Free 2,500, which means, just do these for 2,500, then you get all yours from daily, so you can at least upgrade 3 agents immediately. I think, were these auto-unlocked? I mean, it doesn't matter for me, because I probably won't have either of these agents forever. But yeah, it does does mean I can basically upgrade these 3 agents immediately, and then look at whatever the further buffs are, which I don't know if they talk about them. I think they talk about Bernice here, because I think that's, I remember the order I wrote my comment. Also. Other direction. It's weird how making the screen smaller makes the YouTube video bigger. Yeah. Wait, missed some of the... Yeah, Scorch status. And so yeah, they wanted to amplify her being an optical DPS. Alright, I mean, that's cool. Focusing on Afterburn specifically. Yeah, I think I saw the effect. It was a bit subtle. Yeah, I think there was a specific flash that wasn't Yanagi doing all her sparkle effects. That's a cool animation. And we see that it procced into Bloom. Hold on, I really like that. Hold on, I think she did a little kick. Was this on? I need to go frame by frame. Kick. That's fun. That's a fun animation for Bernice. She does a little kick on the enemy. I'm gonna kick him in the shin, man. And then a bloom, which is cool. That's what gets it strong. Still worried the damage itself isn't too strong. Yeah. It's based off of her afterburn, is that what we know? Oh, it's invincible. Better be, dude. I think most quick assists have high frames, so I better hope that and most airborne attacks tend to have high frames. On top of that, a lot of Bernice's EX special animations have high frames, so that you better be consistent about it. Yeah. Oh, I see, yeah. Yeah, hold basic triggers and afterburn. Oh, yeah. Oh, wait a second. Oh, wait, it still consumes, right? Yeah, okay. It still consumes. Oh, I see. And they updated the icon of her heat bar, so you have a little circle to indicate whether or not she has the her entry skill, which is pretty cool. You know, I can't read this at all. But this is our first look at one of these skills. No numbers, actually, so this is useless. Why do I feel like these are the numbers? And these are like placeholder things. Yeah, reduce the interval for afterburn. That's pretty cool. And yeah, build up speed. Yeah, I mean that's technically true. Yeah, effectiveness of her energy regen, enhancing her off-field specialty. I still don't get that. Energy regen is still helpful if you're on field. I think using some unofficial information. Its initial ER gives her some stat boosts, which is a bit frustrating because if you can play around what these buffs will do with her base level of 1.56 ER, it would feel a bit bad if building ER just meant you have less AM, and then so that's my worry. But you know, if it also decreases the interval between afterburns, that'll still be a cool objective increase for her power level. But yeah, knowing the leaks, I'm still worried and a bit annoyed knowing what Soldier 11 got, knowing what Ellen got, and seeing what Bernice gets is a bit annoying with the level of the scaling. I really like the idea. I like that Orphe has ER scaling. It's just not really hard ER scaling, so you're like really okay with using attack because the ER on Orphe just gives you some attack to the whole team. Yeah. 11. Oh, that's funny. The designer talking about Soldier 11 is 11. Very cool. And so they wanted to keep that rhythm playstyle, which is cool. I appreciate that little rhythm minigame. Yeah, and so they want to keep it, but you know, a basic attack oriented character, and now a guerrilla soldier who specializes in dodge counter. Yeah, I do get it though, because unfortunately they interrupted her combo, but she felt very on-field based, and dodge counters felt pretty good on Soldier 11. At least how I felt. Also, was that her new 5th hit basic attack? And that little swipe up with the little eruption. That's really cool. I see. Yeah. Interesting. It feels super fast, and you get that little multi-swipe combo. Oh, interesting. I guess if you do consume all the fire suppression at once, you lose those stacks. So in order to keep dealing a decent amount of damage, you have to go back to using her timing. That's, I think, would be interesting. Oh wait. Oh, that's cool. So they want to keep that timing input into her gameplay. That's really cool then. And I'm definitely eager to try out Soldier 11. And I definitely appreciate them trying to maintain that gameplay style. I think I still feel like the one minor thing I would want is to give it like and Soldier Zero Ambi type of effect, where it says these skills count as aftershock only so that she gets buffed by Orphe. I see. Yeah. Alright, so they wanted to add a buff that's stronger than a single Mindscape. Okay. Alright. So we consider optimization more systemically in the future. Interesting. Sorry, I'm probably watching this in an almost unwatchable kind of way. Yeah. You know, knowing what Ellen gets in that sort of stat number bigger way. I'm not sure if it's too much bigger than an ordinary Mindscape. Maybe it's definitely bigger than Ellen's own Mindscapes, hearing that they aren't amazing. Yeah. Yeah, Anby's gameplay looks pretty insane. I still think it feels a bit bad that they had to wait for freaking 2.3 to go out of their way to what feels like fix her up when she had issues for so long. Yeah. Yeah. Raw stats, I see. So I assume these are like pre-purchased. Since people were already playing around with them, I assume you need that first one to get the first upgrades, which would be gameplay upgrades, right? Wait, let me look at that menu. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, okay. Right. I assume 1 is the gameplay updates, right? So you would need to buy them, and then 2 through 6 are the just numbers are bigger upgrades. Also cool that the shop gives some older Wenjins. Less helpful for me since I don't know a limited event Wenjin that I still use, but definitely cooler for newer players. I definitely had that issue in some other gachas I played where some really cool equipment was locked to an event, and when you're like a turn-based gacha like Final Fantasy Brave Exvius, something like a limited time event equipment that is like increase the aggro this character gets can be really useful. And then some like other piece of equipment. Being an action game like Zenless, they don't really will have that issue. But you know, still, especially for newer players who won't have all the stronger limited wenjins, or at least some usable on multiple agent limited wenjins, it's definitely nice to have these available in the shop. Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm somewhat curious as if we get an increased amount of these resources, because I mean, I guess first off, seeing that knowing that these little chips might be usable in a new permanent shop that can get us some S rank W engines, that's kind of nutty. Though knowing that they're giving us, we can still get these permanently, and there's a shop where we can use these to get a W engine. I'm somewhat worried we might be seeing like objective Wenjin power creep in the future, since it might be easier for some players to get like P5 of the pretty good standard Wenjins. Anyway, though, I'm sure not. But yeah, 2,000 more of these resources per month to get this stuff almost feels a bit much. Though I guess depending on how fast they like actually upgrade agents, I'm not sure how much it will matter. Because I mean, it feels like he might get a decent amount of this resource, especially with the 2,500 at the start. I can't climb up the ground. Yeah. All standard agents. It'll be interesting to see who will be right next up. Look at this stand. Ah, alright, it's all of the cunning hares. But you know, this person seems a little set apart. Could she be next? It'd be nice if we get, I hope, at least every other patch agent upgrades. That'd be nice. Like, it's cool to get all these upgrades at once. I kind of wish we got them more, like, spread out. Like, spread out in a more even way. Because it felt so long after Ellen when we finally got the next one. There was, like, 2 patches without one. But then the first next one we got was Anby, who needed help, but was still, like, strong when she got her buffs. Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully they do good. Yeah. Good update. Yeah, team up with the old buddies. Keep protecting new Eridu, guys. I guess they were very happy with Soldier 11 specifically, since they kept... I feel like they showed her... You know what? I feel like they were especially proud of Soldier 11. I think they were really happy with the gameplay changes they did for her, which I think I can agree with what I've seen. I mean, they didn't even show like some very unofficial like information we got about Grace. They didn't even show one of the things we might be aware that Grace got. Hold on. Need to connect my freaking controller because my freaking controller can't even connect itself. Yeah. Man, I was supposed to do like story, but then I did like how long has it been? Almost 3 hours on the update in agent buffs talk. Maybe I'll just do some like DA. But yeah. Jeez. Is my controller connected now? Thank goodness. I'm not gonna disconnect this emulator so I don't have a double input issue. And now I could just lean. Okay, I can't lean back because the mic is right here. Yeah. I think. Okay. Well, thank you. I know. I'm on Wi-Fi. Is my Wi-Fi dead? Are you kidding me? Okay. Holy crap! What's happening? All right. I know for a fact something's bad is happening to the stream because I'm watching. I have my phone out for chat. Okay, I think it's getting better. The Wi-Fi definitely went out for a moment there. Gosh. Oh, hold on, it's still on 2x speed? No, okay. Okay, it looks better now. Hey, cat. Yeah, okay. It's okay. We're good. Oh, that was a bit worrying. But it looks like it just dipped for a second, which is good. Alright. Uh-oh. I'm playing the game in windowed mode, but still maximum resolution. Maybe I'll fix that up. Actually, let myself hear the game. But because I'm playing in full resolution windowed mode, I can't even see I can't even see the connection. Alright, 1 bar. Alright, I'm sure that's fine. But yeah, something I wanted to test is... What happened? Okay, well. I'm sure it's okay. I'm sure my internet is fine. It's not sad, it's not... Okay. Something feels bad about the Wi-Fi. Oh dear. I'm sure it'll be fine. But I did want to try... this. I think I tried it before. I think I got 25k, but I want to give it another go. Mostly to have a good reference. Gosh, this is unfortunate. Jeez, I see myself falling behind, so like the right? What's happening here? Jeez. I want to try this team.
Let's start the experiment.
This team again. Let's see. I have my really good crit. My crit damage attack percent one. Alright, something's on her is incorrect. Well, that one's fine. No, actually this was correct. My secondary chaotic metal just aren't amazing. Ah, that sucks. Something's happening. Well, it says 0 dropped frames, but I'm pretty sure that just means it disconnected. Oh, well, hopefully nothing bad happens while I try this run.
There's no class today.
Agent Gulliver. Yeah. Yeah, as soon as the buffs come in, no matter what, the main change is that Grace will have, plus 36% anomaly damage, basically, because I think their build-up is pretty good even at a M0, which mine is. So she will, yeah, I'm pretty sure most of the time, I'm pretty sure, I'm trying to think how often Grace would apply her buff. I'm playing this team like the arena team, but I don't really need to.
Oh, this little one is so cute. I'll just explode.
Yeah, I guess it's fair to say a couple of them won't. I want to hit a normal special just to proc the fusing compiler. Oh, I don't think that proc the shock. Let me see. I wonder who I should have. Oh wow, wait, I think I auto-dodged. Oh, I missed the dodge. No. Alright, well, at least I get a stun. Nice, you can get that so fast. I don't think I can do this. I like doing this to... I'm gonna apply burn over burn. Oh well. Pretty sure that was Yuzaha's fault. Oh, that's funny. I have to keep attacking with Yuza until she procs freaking... I should... Are you kidding me? I just wasted a whole EX. I saw that the second he teleported. Oops. Is he still shooting? Are those coming down? Are those actually coming down? Come on. Oh, hey. Alright. Oh. No, I got burned. Okay, yeah, I got my shot. Spinning.
Hey, ready? Time to teach you a lesson. I'll start to play the battle.
Yeah, I think this is good enough.
Demolition! Hey, let's have some fun. Don't get scared, no. Fire!
Oh, come on, dude. Okay, I'm scoring worse than I did before. Gosh, I hate that. Spam it. Spam attack. That was two-hand modes. Gosh, that wasn't great. Yeah, I definitely got 25k before, so that was a terrible run. I think I definitely stayed on Yuzaha a bit too much just to try to get those disorders, but I was fighting against a disorder cooldown, so I should have been staying on Grace instead to try to build up shock in the meantime, and then I had a couple of burns on burns. It might be better to Yuzaha into Grace here because I feel confident. Like this is a Time Weaver Grace. Were you looking up at something, Cat? Alright, he's just staring at the ceiling. Got like 26k with Piper instead of Grace, by the way. Gosh. Yeah. Yeah, poor Grace. Unfortunately. You know, I think, yeah, Piper is easily stronger than Grace, so she's still likely worse, so it's good that she's getting buffed. Like, those blooms alone are probably just a bigger increase, but honestly though, just getting her additional ability probably pushes that up to Piper's level, and then you get those blooms and any other buffs she get that we don't know about technically. Just a damage buff would be nice because all the damage in her kit right now. How much damage does this team even have? Did I have the gear on correctly? Yeah. I mean, this is quite a lot of damage from Yuzaha alone. It's 18% Moonlight Lullaby, so it's 38.2% from just the gear, and then 15% more from this, so 53%. 53.2% damage just from Yuzaha. Now that's quite a lot. And then her disc gives her sometimes 35% more. So almost 88% damage, give or take, because this only applies to EX Special and only for a short duration. So give or take 20. So 68 to 88% damage, which is pretty good. But then this adds up with her additional ability. But yeah, 36 is a big number, man. For something that isn't added to the amount of damage she already has. Then I think we unofficially know that she is getting some damage, which is pretty solid actually, getting some damage in her kit. Because even in this build, she doesn't reach 100% yet, so that's still, I think, a pretty decent boost. Since she's already giving herself a good chunk of anomaly damage. Yeah, So, like, those alone, before the Bloom in Arcade is pretty good.
I only handle.
But yeah.
Let's fire it up.
The one worry I have is that I'm still worried Grace's own, like, numbers up buff is lacking.
Want a glass of nitrogen?
I want to do something real quick. Let's see if stream's still alright. Yeah, okay. Good. Do I start? Wait, did I? What happened? I didn't mean that. Wait. Oh, okay, my bad. Hey. I was wondering what happened. Because I definitely clicked something, I accidentally started recording. Which I don't need to. Not at the moment. But I'll be honest, I'm still wondering, do I go to the normal story? I feel like I probably should have I should probably save normal story. I should have saved the normal story when I had more time. I only have a few days left until 1.5, huh? No, at least a week. I should be able to find time. This is the 20th today. That's free. It's less than a week till Christmas, man. Yeah, Fortunately, I'm still looking for a job, and it'd be quite nice to get one, and I think I'm doing a bad job at looking for one. But yeah, hopefully I can find a normal one. I think, yeah, it's getting late. A bit late. It's not that late, but it's getting sunset, which happens surprisingly early. That's all my dailies to do. I feel like that was a good stopping point. It's nice to get into the game, but I just enjoy talking about the game too. So it's nice to have a good chatting stream about the new stuff announced and just the things I care about. It also means this whole half of the title was a lie. What half of the title? Oh, that's right, nothing. And the story yeah, nothing happened. Anyway, yeah, thanks for watching, Socks. And anyone else who watched, anyone who watches the VOD, thank you for watching. Good stream. Hopefully I get around to finishing this story soon. I only did the first third, and I think that took me like several hours. My bad. I am actually quite excited for 2.5, if only for Zhao. Unfortunately, that other banner is going to be in the second half. I don't know if that's in a 2.5 week second half or in a Banyue second half, and we'll have to wait 3 weeks for it. And it'll only last 2 weeks or 12 days. But yeah, yeah. Anyway, thanks for anyone who watched for watching. Hopefully, I'll get around to doing the main story soon. Game is cool. Can't wait for the updates. I can wait a bit. But in case I don't find time, Merry Christmas. And alright. Hopefully I find time before Happy New Year. Yeah, yeah. Good morning, evening, afternoon, and good night. Bye.